that we have AB 84 first on the agenda. Welcome, Assemblymember Marsucci, and you may begin when you're ready. And just as an FYI, for this bill, we're going to be doing Me Too's together, just because I know we have a lot of folks here that would like to participate. So we'll do first support witnesses and opposition witnesses, and then we'll do all of our Me Too's at the same time.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Senators. I'm here to present Assembly Bill 84, and before I go any further, I want to thank Mr. Johnson with your committee staff for all of his work in our ongoing negotiations on this bill to address the concerns being raised by all parties, including the many parents that we have all been hearing from. And I accept the committee amendments. These committee amendments are on top of the substantial amendments that we have already taken in the Assembly to address, again, many of the concerns being raised by stakeholders, and that effort is ongoing. I present Assembly Bill 84 to strengthen charter school oversight and accountability, to crack down on the documented cases of charter schools, especially the non-classroom based charter schools, engaging in fraud and abuse of taxpayer dollars to enrich bad actor charter school operators. Again, let me first acknowledge what I have heard from many of you, senators. I've had individual conversations as well as conversations throughout this legislative process, as well as my many meetings with charter school parents, which is that there are good charter schools that provide choice for students and parents in many communities throughout our state to meet their unique educational needs. I have personally visited many good charter schools. In fact, on Monday, I just met with an excellent non-classroom based charter program in my community in Los Angeles, the Da Vinci schools. And I completely respect the desire of students and parents who want to pursue the best educational opportunities available to them. Unfortunately, in recent years, we have seen a series of high-profile cases involving bad actor charter school operators who have figured out how to enrich themselves by taking advantage of lax charter school oversight. In 2021, the operators of the A3 charter schools based in San Diego County were criminally convicted and sentenced to prison for defrauding California taxpayers of over $400 million of good K-12 public education dollars. In May of 2025 of this year, the San Diego Union Tribune reported that the elite Academy Charter Schools, which serves just around 1,800 mostly homeschool students, have been paying millions of dollars a year to a related corporation created by Elite Academy's founder, where the corporation's sole source of revenue are the elite charter schools' attendance-based revenues, and with the corporation employing family members with salaries in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And just 2 weeks ago, the state auditor issued their audit, where they found that the locally based Highlands Community Charter Schools, after whistleblowers reported to the local ABC News that the charter school operators were engaging in attendance fraud, in fact, confirmed the reports of over $180 million, again, in public taxpayer education dollars being inappropriately collected by the Highlands Community Charter School. Following the A3 charter scandal, the state imposed a moratorium on so-called non-classroom based charters and tasked the Legislative Analyst's Office and the Fiscal Crisis and Management Assistance Team, or FCMAT, which you will hear from Mike Fine, the Executive Director of FCMAT, the State School Fiscal Oversight Agency to make recommendations on strengthening charter school oversight. The State Controller, coming out of the criminal case in San Diego, also convened a task force to make recommendations for the same objective. This bill seeks to codify the recommendations made by the LAO, FCMAT, and the State Controller's office. I want to again thank your staff, Madam Chair's excellent work, and in particular his excellent committee analysis on this bill. And with your permission, I'd like to read just a short section of the staff report available to all of you. On page 9 of the staff report, in the middle of the page, the report states, this bill, Assembly Bill 84, emerged in response to long-standing oversight concerns and notable fraud cases, not from an effort to limit educational options. In cases like A3 and Highlands, weaknesses in data systems, fiscal reporting, oversight structures enabled large-scale misuse of public funds. To address these concerns, state agencies, referring to the LAO, FCMAT, and the State Controller's Task Force, developed recommendations aimed at improving transparency, accountability, and operational safeguards in the non-classroom-based space. Clearly, we have a problem here. We need to strengthen charter school oversight and accountability, and I'd like to ask to testify in support of this measure Mike Fine, representing the Fiscal Crisis and Management Assistance Team, and Cassie Mancini from the California School Employees Association in support of the bill.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. As the Assembly member indicated, I'm Mike Fine. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the state's Fiscal Crisis and Management Assistance Team. FCMAT's interest is to enhance and strengthen the audit statutes and procedures to build parity among local educational agencies and to strengthen the authorization and balanced oversight of charter schools. At the legislature's request, FCMAT partnered with the LAO to research and prepare our joint February of 2024 report on non-classroom-based charters. The themes raised in that report are included in AB 84, including a number of the recommendations. FCMAT was also an active member of the court-ordered Controller's Multi-Agency Task Force on Charter School Audits. The themes and many recommendations from the task force are also included in this bill. It's important to note that we have outstanding charter schools, as the Assembly members already indicated, in California. The headlines of fraud and wrongdoing are limited to only a handful of organizations, but as the Assembly members just outlined, those have they continue even up into the last several weeks, and they are growing in dollar amount. This, however, is not dissimilar to traditional school districts. We have struggles with some of them as well. Today, charter school audits are governed in large part by what the charter school petition says. Addressing an annual independent audit is a required element for a charter school petition. Most, but not all, petitions refer to the standard audit statute for K-12 school districts. Existing statute, however, does not consistently or adequately address charter schools. It was crafted before the Charter Schools Act and is written specifically for school districts. AB 84 does several things. It modifies existing statute on audits to explicitly apply to charter schools, creating parity in the requirements and process for all LEAs on this important topic. It makes numerous improvements in the requirements for auditor training, auditor oversight, audit guide contents for all LEAs. These improvements are consistent with the February 24 LAO FCMAT report and the Controller's Task Force. provides other comprehensive reforms around non-classroom-based charter schools and charter schools in general, many consistent with the LAO FCMAT recommendations, and as the author has indicated, consistent with concerns that have been raised over many years, actually several decades, on some of these topics. It also addresses, as I've just indicated, many practices and policies that have been expressed by oversight agencies, and that I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Senators. Cassie Mancini here on behalf of the California School Employees Association, co-sponsors of AB 84. First, I really want to appreciate the hard work of committee staff in joining our twice-weekly negotiations to work through the issues raised in AB 84 and SB 414. These negotiations are ongoing and will continue to work in good faith throughout summer recess to find common ground. Two recent charter scandals inform our intent here. In 2019, nonprofit charter management organization A3 Education defrauded the public of $400 million. And just last month, the state auditor released their report on Highlands Charter, which found that over just 2 years, Highlands disregarded state law to wrongfully receive over $180 million in Prop 98 funds. These cases clearly demonstrate for us how California's existing system of non-classroom-based charter oversight, carried out by district authorizers, annual financial audits, and the State Board of Education through its NCB funding determination process, is entirely inadequate. AB 84 seeks to strengthen our oversight systems by enacting the policy recommendations issued by experts. The bill has undergone significant amendments in the spirit of compromise, so I'll briefly summarize what it does today. First, as Mike discussed, the bill standardizes audit procedures. Secondly, the bill enacts limits on small district authorizers that do not have the capacity to effectively oversee large non-classroom-based charters. The Highlands audit has underscored for us the need for greater accountability on the part of charter authorizers of all sizes to conduct more thorough oversight that is not solely reliant based upon a charter school's annual audit or a charter school's assertions. And as we continue to work on the bill, we hope to bring the legislature a proposal to hold all authorizers accountable for conducting high-quality oversight. Finally, the bill maintains the existing funding determination process for non-classroom-based schools with recommended enhancements. AB 84 ensures that a school's spending on educators and instruction is annually monitored and verifiable. It also creates a definition of a virtual charter network and requires network schools to apply for a funding determination concurrently to prevent the manipulation of expenditure data. AB 84 will not cut funding to any charter school. It's a big bill, but that's because we need structural reform to detect and prevent future fraud cases and ensure that our public education system operates with integrity. For these reasons, we respectfully request an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. As I mentioned before, we're going to do Me Too's all together, so I'm going to move now to lead witnesses in opposition. If two lead witnesses can come forward and use the mics here. Oh, apologies. And let's go ahead and establish a quorum while you all are getting seated. Assistant, if you can call the roll.
Senators Perez.
Here.
Perez here. Ochobog.
Here.
Ochobog here. Cabalden. Choi. Here. Choi here. Cortese. Gonzalez. Here. Gonzalez here. Laird.
Thank you. We'll now turn it over to you both whenever you would like to get started.
Great. Good morning. I'm Mary Cox, Superintendent of Core Butte Charter, a TK-12 flex-based charter in Butte County, funded as a non-classroom-based charter. Over half of our students are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and more than 17% receive special education. We're a safe haven for all students, including LGBTQ plus youth, students facing mental health challenges, bullying, and those in credit recovery. We were devastated by the 2018 Camp Fire. More than half of our students became homeless overnight. Butte County has the highest percentage of students in the state with 4 or more adverse childhood experiences. We've invested in clinician-led wellness programs, not because we were required to, but because our students need it. If AB 84 passes, we'll be forced to absorb major new administrative costs, putting these essential services at risk for our students. AB 84 imposes costly unfunded mandates, including 10 new audit reports every year and potential authorizer changes. I experienced that under 1507. It was disruptive, expensive, and pulled focus away from students. Unlike districts, charter schools are not eligible to apply for additional mandated cost reimbursement. Where is the funding to pay for this? It's simply unfair. Section 43 of the bill would prohibit us from using funds for enrichment provided by community partners, even when aligned with academic goals and overseen by credentialed teachers. This provision will cut off access to important student enrichment, like high-impact tutoring for students with dyslexia or learning about local ecology from Indigenous community members. In contrast, school districts can use extended learning opportunity funds for similar programs with non-credentialed partners. We aren't offering things school districts don't provide elsewhere, yet under AB 84, we'd have different rules, and our students would have less access to educational opportunity. That's inequitable and harmful to our students. Finally, AB 84 would classify my school as a virtual school because less than 20% of instruction happens in person. That label doesn't fit. I have $11 million invested in facilities that are used daily. Some students are on campus 4 days a week. Others only come to meet with their teacher or for special education services. Our school is flexible by design to meet the unique needs of our students and parents. We support strong oversight, but AB 84 places unfair, unfunded burdens on schools like mine that are doing the right thing. AB 84 puts our programs for vulnerable youth at risk. We respectfully oppose AB 84 and encourage continued collaboration on thoughtful, balanced solutions. Thank you.
And just a reminder, 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Chair and members. Eric Premack with the Charter Schools Development Center here on behalf of our center, as well as the Charter Schools Association and the A+ organization and hundreds of charter schools. For over 30 years, our center has been providing training precisely on these topics: fiscal accountability, business management, sound governance, and ethics. We recognize that we have a problem with financial abuses in California's charter schools, and this is why we've co-sponsored Senate Bill 414 on this topic. We've been fully engaged at table and as well thank staff for the support that they've provided, and we're negotiating hard and in good faith. We've identified over 20 proposals that are common that we can agree to and are still hard at work at table, but we remain very concerned with AB 84 for a number of different reasons. In general, we believe it creates too many unnecessary and unfunded mandates, especially as it relates to auditing, authorizer oversight, and charter school accounting and business management. It places non-classroom-based schools at risk of severe funding cuts, even with the mitigation amendments that I gather will be taken today as committee amendments. It also restricts the authority of school districts that have fewer than 10,000 students to authorize new non-classroom-based charter schools. This includes about 85% of the state's districts, and from our perspective creates essentially a backdoor, more permanent moratorium on new non-classroom-based charter schools in about 85% of the state. Finally, we've been accused of, quote-unquote, cherry-picking the various recommendations from Mr. Fine's report and from the Controller's report. And to an extent, we plead guilty. But the reason is we're seeking remedies that are actually implementable. I see the chair of the Budget Committee here. Most of what's in here is not in the budget, and the state has a serious financial problem, and our schools' budgets are very tight. And as such, our bill, Senate Bill 414, is a much more focused, cost-effective measure. For these and other reasons, we really hope that you will vote against this bill and work with us on 414 while we continue to work very hard behind the scenes negotiating. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Now that we've heard from both support witnesses and opposition witnesses, we'll hear from all of our Me Too's, so both those in support and in opposition to the bill. So we're going to use the mic over here at the railing. If you all could form a line towards that mic, and we are going to ask people to clearly state their name, organization that they are with or who they are representing, and position on the bill.
I'm Catlin O'Halloran Heller. I am the founder and board president of the Dixon Montessori Charter School in Senator Cabaldon's district, and I oppose this bill.
Good morning, Ashley Lugo on behalf of the California County Superintendents in respectful opposition to AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning, Jeff Rice with A+, representing more than 100 flex-based charter schools in California, and we remain opposed to AB 84.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Jeff Vaca, representing the Riverside County Superintendent of Schools, concerns related to our role as authorizers.
Good morning, Chair and members. Rec Kaminsky on behalf of the Association of California School Administrators, also registering concern on regard to the coherence on the new authorizer responsibilities and resources. Thank you.
Lucy Salcido Carter with the Alameda County Office of Education, also expressing concern with regard to the role of authorizers. Thank you.
Xavier Maltese with the California Charter Schools Association in opposition to this bill.
Cynthia Rachel from Innovative Education Management, opposed to the bill.
Good morning, Juliana Hubble representing Springs Charter Schools, a Credo gap-busting network, and we are opposed to this bill. Thank you.
Debbie Cole from Pacific Coast Academy in San Diego County, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you for your time. Craig Cole, and I oppose AB 84. Don't leave these children behind. Thank you.
My name is Ruby Everson. I'm a senior at Mission Vista Academy in Riverside County, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning, committee. My name is Audrey Everson, a parent with Mission Vista Academy in Riverside County, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. I'm Zena Fisher, a senior director with Mission Vista Academy in Riverside, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Faith Swinson. I am a junior at Mission Vista Academy, and I'm from Huntington Beach, and I oppose this bill.
Hello, Denise Aguilar, co-founder of Freedom Angels. With 10,000 people, we are representing in opposition, including California Parents' Rights Act now. Thank you.
Hello, Tara Thornton, also co-founder of Freedom Angels, representing stakeholders across the entire state. Strong opposition. Thank you.
Hello, Sophia Karstens, Decentralize America, strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Sarah Foxworthy. I'm a student with Feather River Charter, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Lillian Ray, and I'm going to be a freshman at Forest Charter in Nevada County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning, Michelle Stanley with the Classical Academies, and we stand in opposition to this bill.
Good morning, I'm Carmen Canelio. I'm the Chief Business Officer for the Classical Academies in North San Diego in opposition to AB 84.
Good morning, Barrett Snyder. On behalf of the Small School Districts Association, we have an opposed unless amended position. And on behalf of the San Diego County Office of Ed and the San Diego Unified School Districts, my colleague Sierra, who's not here, we signed a letter with some concerns around authorizer issues. Thank you.
Dr. Dean Foreman, co-founder of John Adams Academies in Sacramento and Roseville and El Dorado Hills, voicing strong opposition to AB 84.
My name is Bree Gordon. I work at John Adams Academy, and I also have children at John Adams Academy and Horizon Charter Schools, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning, Carlos Iniguez, representing John Adams Academy and over 4,000 families with strong opposition to AB 84. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robin Nelson. I'm a homeschooling parent from Ontario, California, and I'm in strong opposition. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Judy Nelson. I'm the former mayor of the city of Glendora. Thank you, Senator Perez, for representing our city. I'm a founding member of Save Glendora Schools, and we strongly, strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Meg Madden, charter school mom for 20 years, and on behalf of longtime homeschooling charter moms Heather McClure, Audra Sterrett, and Amy Rush, homeschool charter teachers Wendy Brandt and Stephanie Gutierrez, also Amy and Ben Anderson, parents of a disabled child who is thriving in his charter homeschool, and on behalf of California Disabled Students for Equitable Education Options, in strong and informed opposition to AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Nicole Young. I'm representing Dr. Beverly Sarah, Moms for Liberty Yolo, Lake, Shasta, San Luis Obispo, Contra Costa, Orange, Placer, Fresno, Tuolumne, Santa Barbara, San Diego, Colusa, Los Angeles, and Alameda County. The Children Matter, Kern County Against Mandates, Brianna Gomez, Callie Johnson, Christine Bowers, Emily Rippenberg, Monica Berbiska, Olivia Amara, Amanda Parker, Teresa Grimm, Seth Johnson, Rossianne Salabaher, Megan Van Scriber, Allison Gaskets, Brian and Wendy Heisey, and more importantly, my son, whose brick and mortar school told him he would never learn to read, homeschooled him through a charter. He's now a senior at SDSU. We are all in strong and informed opposition. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janelle Williams, and I am here as a parent with a homeschool family through the charter at Nevada City Forest Charter. My children are also here, and we are in strong opposition to AB 84. We really need to have this shut down. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Foxworthy from Forest Hill, California. I homeschool my 6th grader and 9th grader. We're with Feather River Charter, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning. I'm Julie Crandall. I'm the Principal Superintendent of Home Tech Charter in Paradise, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning. Larry King, former Superintendent Authorizer of the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District, where we authorize 17 charter school organizations. And on behalf of Sage Oak Charter Schools, I'm the Senior Director of Outreach and Development, strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Megan McCune. I'm a charter school mom, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Sean McCune. I'm a homeschool parent. I've read the bill, and I strongly oppose it and request a no vote.
Good morning. My name is John Egner. I'm with Pacific Coast Academy. I represent over 800 families of students with IEPs in our school, and I'm also the parent of a child in an independent study type program. We're in strong opposition to this bill. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Teresa Copenhaver. I'm the Executive Director and Principal of Circle of Independent Learning Charter School, servicing 40% at Promise students in Alameda County and all surrounding counties in that area, in the Bay Area. We strongly and informally oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Geraldine Fisher. I'm a parent as well as a credentialed teacher with Feather River Charter School, and I respectfully oppose AB 84.
My name is Eliana Fisher. I'm a charter school student, and I respectfully oppose AB 84.
My name's Aaliyah Fisher. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Audra Byers. I'm a homeschool parent with Feather River Charter. I respectfully oppose AB 84.
My name is Ethan Byers. I am a charter school student. I respectfully oppose this bill.
Good morning. My name is Annette Kunze. I am a homeschool grandma to 2 granddaughters and also a local school board trustee in my local community, and I respectfully oppose this bill. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Loren Copier, and I am a homeschool parent with Southsider Charter School, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Christine Winkler from San Diego County. We've been homeschooling our only child, Christian, for 6 years. We strongly oppose AB 84.
I'm Christian from San Diego. I'm a charter school student. I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning. Jennifer Caza, Superintendent of the JCS family of charter schools serving 1,800 students in San Diego and Riverside County. and we oppose.
Jillian Tonkin, also with JCS Family of Charter Schools, and I oppose this bill.
Hi, I'm Debbie Gooding, Executive Director of Learning Choice Academy. We serve 3 schools down in San Diego County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning. I'm Heather Marshall with New Pacific Charter Schools, Rio Valley Charter School, and the entire Pacific Charter Institute, and we absolutely oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lauren Azevedo Smith. I have been a California educator for 19 years. I am a teacher for Pacific Coast Academy. I am also a homeschool parent with Pacific Coast Academy. I serve families in the South Bay of San Diego, and I oppose AB 84. Go ahead. I got you.
Hi, my name is Sayla Smith, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Clister Smith. I'm a parent of Pacific Coast Academy. My daughters are students there, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Adriana Rucker. I'm a special education teacher, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Cynthia Rucker. I'm a parent, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Gabriela Dobrescu. I'm a homeschool parent with Ocean Grove Charter School, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Benjamin, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Bernadette Lumley, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Sharon Machini from NP3 Charter, serving students seat-based in Sacramento, California, and we are opposed to AB 84.
Good morning, Melissa Mori, also representing NP3 Charter High School as principal and parent, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Shannon Green with California Pacific Charter San Diego, and I oppose AB 84.
Erica Stevens, also with California Pacific Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Erin Reinberg, Assistant Director of TK8 at California Pacific Charter Schools, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Sonoma from Sonoma County, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Victoria Campbell with California Pacific Charter Schools in opposition of AB 84.
I'm Sarah Greco with Sequoia Grove Charter Alliance, and I oppose AB 84.
I'm Shannon Breckenridge with Lakeview Charter, Clarksville Charter, and Feather River Charter, serving students in 14 counties in Northern California with sparkling clean audits, I might add, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Marcy Boyd. I'm with Clarksville, Feather River, and Lakeview Charter Schools, and I respectfully oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Michael Cox. I'm with Western Sierra Charter Schools. We serve approximately 700 students in Madera and Fresno counties, and I'm here to oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hello, Jody Jeffers, CBO for Western Sierra Charter Schools, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is David Beckingham. I'm a charter school grandparent, and I oppose AB 84.
My name's Tiffany Timberman. I'm a charter school parent, and I oppose AB 84.
I oppose AB 84.
My name's Cheryl Beckingham. I am a charter school grandparent, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. I'm Cindy Garcia. I'm the Executive Director for the Cottonwood School. It's an award-winning TK-12 flex-based public charter school serving over 3,500 students, including a Montessori-inspired high school in El Dorado Hills and throughout Sacramento, Placer, Amador, and Alpine counties. We are committed to whole child personal learning, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Jeanette Sansenbach, fourth grade teacher, Folsom Cordova Unified, also president of their association, FCEA, and we strongly approve AB 84.
Anna Cordero, 17-year virtual educator, 8th grade history teacher, Serving California Virtual Academy's 14,000 students, strongly support AB 84.
Lisa Lennon Wilkins, middle school science teacher and president of the Lodi Education Association, and I strongly approve AB 84. Thank you.
Tanya Halverson, California Virtual Academy Charter School teacher. I support AB 84.
Dr. Christopher Anderson, president of the Stockton Teachers Association, 25-year teacher. I rise in support of this AB. Thank you.
Good morning, Rob Reynolds. I'm a high school alternative education teacher in San Joaquin County. I regularly teach children who have been failed by charter schools, and I rise in support of this bill.
Hello, I'm Brittany Ward, and I'm an elementary school, public school teacher, very proud to be, and also the president of Twin Rivers United Educators, whose board oversight was on Highlands. So I very strongly support AB 84.
Good morning, Araceli Perez. I'm a credentialed teacher. I had my children in charter schools. I worked at Highlands and was fired because I was a whistleblower on fiscal fraud. I strongly support AB 84.
My name is Vanessa Cutterback, second vice president of Sacramento City Teachers Association, third grade teacher at Phoebe Hearst, mother of a charter school graduate, and I spent most of my years teaching in charter schools, and I strongly support AB 84.
Hello, my name is Deanna Blockson. I'm a sixth grade teacher at Anna Kirchgater Elementary School in the Elk Grove Unified School District, and I strongly support AB 84.
Hello, my name is Faye Grundle. I'm a transitional kindergarten teacher in Orangevale Open in Fair Oaks and part of the San Juan Unified School District. And my son went to a charter school, and I very much support AB 84.
Hello, my name is Nicole Piper. I'm a teacher at California Virtual Academies. I also represent over 1,100 educators at California Virtual Educators United, and we support AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Francisco Villaseñor. I'm a special education teacher for California Virtual Academies, and I strongly support Assembly Bill 84.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Mowry. I'm a first grade teacher at California Virtual Academies. My own 3 students attended there, and I strongly am in support of AB 84.
Good morning. My name's Ron Walker. I'm a bus driver groundsman for Orland Unified School District, also on the CSEA Board of Directors, and I strongly support 84.
Good morning. Michael Gandara with CSEA PACE Committee, and I strongly support this bill.
Adara Clark-Gunn with CSEA, President for San Juan Unified School District, in support of AB 84.
Florentina DiGennaro, mother of 3, on opposing this bill, also representing Glad Tidings, Yuba City, and Freedom Coalition in Yuba City, oppose with Mom Army. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for hearing all of us. My name is Sylvia Sorensen. I'm also with Moms for Liberty, Emerald County. This is my daughter, Summer Sorensen. She's attending a charter school, and we are both opposing AB 84. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Matisse. I'm 8 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, and I very strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Heather from Los Angeles. I'm a charter school parent and the founder of Creative Learners of Los Angeles. We strongly oppose AB 84 and ask that if there's any shred of doubt as to what this bill will do to our students, that you vote no. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Eric Phelan, and I'm a parent of a charter student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Maria Fernanda Zuniga, U.S. graduate in nonprofit management and leadership. I understand the importance of oversight, yet This bill does not do that, and it puts in danger
Ma'am.
our children who are in
So as
charter
a reminder, this is just a Me Too moment. So that means that we have the name, your organization that you're representing, and your position. That's the only thing that we're going to be allowing at this time.
Thank you. My name is Eric Zuniga, Stanford class of 2005, homeschool parent, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Step on 8084.
So well dressed. Love the level of decorum.
My name is Lorraine Birch. I'm a charter school mother of 4 that attend Clarksville, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Diana Fearhelm. I am a charter school mom, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Sarah Satterfield. I am a credentialed teacher with Clarksville Charter School. My husband also works in independent study charter schools. My 4 children have all benefited from charter schools. I oppose this bill. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Danielle Baumunk. I am a proud parent of 3 successful charter school students, as well as a credentialed teacher with Clarksville Charter School. I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Gergich, a credentialed teacher with Clarksville Charter School and a parent for a student in Camino Polytechnic Charter School. I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mary Stein. I'm a credentialed teacher with Clarksville Charter School, and I'm also a parent for charter students. Thank you, and I definitely oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Jana McKnight, and I am a certified teacher through Clarksville, but I'm also a mother of a special needs son who would greatly be impacted by this bill, so I strongly oppose. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Eduardo De Leon. I'm the Executive Director of the Language Academy of Sacramento. We're a TK through 8 dual language program here, and I strongly urge a no vote on AB 84.
Good morning. Jose Diaz from Albert Einstein Academies, representing San Diego, California, California, in opposition of AB 84 and support 414. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jessica Splino with Method Schools. I have seen the NCB modality save hundreds of students, and I am in opposition of AB 84.
Hi, I'm Mark Hawley, Method Schools. I've spent half my career with the school district and half with charter schools, and I'm in strong opposition of 84.
Good morning. I'm Evelyn Anderson. I'm principal of the Santa Rosa French American Charter School. We serve students from throughout Sonoma County, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Sailor. I'm from Mather. I'm a charter student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Benjamin Slatton. I am 11. I am a charter school student, and I oppose this bill.
I'm a mother of 2 charter school students. I was a charter student myself because I was failed by the public school, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
I'm Amity Chavez, mother of 2 boys who thrive at Sutter Peak Charter Academy, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Ronan Chavez. I'm a student of Sutter Peak, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Carrie Harrell. I have worked in classroom-based schools, but I am a parent of 3 students at Sequoia Grove Charter School, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
I'm Daniel Harrell, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Andrea Harrell. I'm a student at Feather River and Sequoia Grove Charter School, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Kristen Demafani. I'm the Executive Director for Pacific Coast Academy, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Hi, I'm Amy Davis with Mission Vista Academy, the Executive Director, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Jenna Lorge, the Executive Director for Cabrillo Point Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name's Sherry Erlinson, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Hello, my name is Dr. Erica Vanderspeck. I'm the Deputy Executive Director with Cabrillo Point Academy. This is my 22nd year in charter education, and I'm a proud parent of a charter school graduate, and I oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name's Jason Siddimer. I'm here with Charter Impact. We are a back office provider supporting over 100 schools in California, authorized by more than 35 districts and counties, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is David Lewick. I'm also with Charter Impact, and I'm a proud parent of a charter school student at Granada Hills Charter in Los Angeles. I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Andrea, and I'm a mother to two charter school students who are thriving, and we strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sherry Lynn Westbrook, a child psychologist and proud parent of a Golden Valley Charter student, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Westbrook, and I'm a father of a daughter who is going to second grade at Golden Valley Charter School in Orangevale, and we oppose 84. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Brianna Galbraith. I am a mother of three kids who are thriving at Golden Valley Waldorf Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Genevieve Buckley, mother of two at Golden Valley Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hoover. I'm a leader at Golden Valley Charter Schools. I'm here with my son, who's a student there, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Davis Petrie. I'm past president of the Homeschool Association of California. I and my board strongly oppose AB 84.
Ashley Witt from Long Beach, California, a mother of three charter students, and I oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Greg Blankenbuehler. I am a teacher at John Adams Academy where I run a successful choir program. I'm also a parent of a daughter who goes there, and my wife also accompanies for me, and I'm strongly opposed to this bill.
I'm Erica Blankenbuehler from Sacramento County, and I help run an arts program at a charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Kate Blankenbuehler. I go to a local charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
I'm John Gerard. I'm a superintendent for Horizons Charter School. I represent 1,700 students, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, Lance Christensen, Vice President of the California Policy Center. We're strongly opposed. Also represent a coalition of over 24 free education freedom advocates in opposition, and as a father of 4 kids who also access the charter schools, we're opposed to this bill. Thank you.
Beverly Talbot, a registered Democrat from San Francisco. On behalf of Cause and Women Are Real, I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning. My name is Amber Arias. I run a ministry, Stand Up Ministry, Calvary Chapel, Solano. I'm a homeschool mom of 2 children. I'm in strong opposition of AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Greg Bird, Vice President of the California Family Council, in strong opposition. I actually have 3 kids who went through homeschool charter schools, and this is a threat to them. Thank you.
Good morning, Janice O'Malley with Ask Me California in support.
Tiffany Mock on behalf of CFD, a union of educators and classified professionals, in strong support. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Elmer Lizardi here on behalf of the California Federation of Labor Unions, co-sponsor and support. Thank you.
Ebron Ferrier with California Family Council in opposition.
Good morning. My name is Shawnee Relaford. I have a son who has ADHD combined, unspecified impulse control. He had trouble in public school. We tried South Sutter in August, and he's thrived. I oppose.
My name is Leah Neal, and I'm a homeschool grandparent, and I strongly oppose.
Hi, my name is Christine Alt, and my sister has successfully raised 6 children who 5 of them have gone on to graduate college with multiple different degrees. And I've raised 3 homeschool kids, and I've been a homeschool educator for over 12 years. I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, I'm Allison O'Haver. I'm a parent of 2 charter school students, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lily Lasavio. I'm a homeschool parent and a credentialed teacher, and I represent 3,000 students at Clarksville Charter School. I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Jessica Hall. I'm a credentialed teacher at Clarksville Charter School, and this is my son Wyatt. He's a student at Clarksville Charter School, and we oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Blake, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Tiffany Millen, and I'm the director of the Natomas Homeschool Alliance. On behalf of the hundreds of medically fragile and special needs students that I work with who are not able to be here to stand in this line, I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Christy Smith, a credentialed teacher with Heritage Peak Charter School and also homeschooled my 3 children through charter schools, and I'm opposed to AB 84.
Hi, I'm Cami Wanis. I'm a credentialed teacher and homeschool parent. I also represent Revillage Napa, which has 75 families homeschooling, and we all strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Kenyon Wanis, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Eric Wanis, a credentialed teacher of over 30 years. I'm here in opposition of AB 84.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Kristen Welch. I am an ELA teacher at Natomas Homeschool Alliance. I successfully homeschooled all 3 of my daughters through a charter. They're all productive members of society now in good jobs, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Heather Welch. My kids are part of Heritage Peak Charter, and we strongly oppose.
Hi, I'm Natalia Human. I'm a registered nurse, and I also homeschool my daughter, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Abigail Hugai. I am a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Dr. Damian Phillips. I serve students at Yosemite Valley Charter and Monarch River Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Johnson. I'm superintendent of Yosemite Valley Charter School and Monarch River Academy. We serve 10 counties across Central California, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Anna Wilkinson. I'm with Yosemite Valley and Monarch River Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is April Green. I'm both a parent of a student with autism that attends the Cottonwood School. I'm also a special education teacher at Yosemite Valley and Monarch River Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Jenny Plum. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Student Support at Yosemite Valley and Monarch River Charter Schools. I represent 600 special ed students today who might be medically fragile or unable to come today, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Micheline Fitzgerald. I also work at Yosemite Valley Charter and Monarch River Academy. I represent 4,500 students in 10 counties, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Christopher Williams. I work with Absolute Charter Group, a back office management finance company. I'm a CPA and a certified fraud examiner as well. I'm here representing Yosemite Valley Charter School and Monarch River Academy, where we utilize fraud risk controls, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning, members. Magali Zagal on behalf of Aspire Public Schools in opposition to the bill. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Cardenas. I am an employee and proud parent of 2 students at California Montessori Project, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Good morning, Matt Taylor, Superintendent at the California Montessori Project. We oppose this bill.
Good morning. My name is Diana Bergstrand, currently pursuing a master's in education and teaching credential. I'm also a substitute for a local school district and a parent of 4 students enrolled at South Sutter Charter School, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Tulsi Bergstrand. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Demi Bergstrand, and I'm a charter school student, and I oppose this AB 84. My name is Juniper Bergstrand. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Mia Bergstrand. I'm a charter school student with South Sutter, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Jude Rule. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Laura Castro. I homeschool these 3 brilliant kids that are thriving through Cottonwood School, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Ashley Oliva with Delta Managed Solutions. I am a former charter school student and a proud parent of a charter school graduate. with a neurodegenerative autoimmune disability that would have never graduated without her charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Joanne Fountain with Delta Managed Solutions, and we serve over 40 charter schools throughout California, and we strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Clanton, and I represent Delta Managed Solutions, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Levers. I'm the Executive Director of Connecting Waters Charter School. We have over 2,000 students, 55% socioeconomically disadvantaged. I oppose AB 84 because it's a sledgehammer when we need a scalpel. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kim Koski, and I work for Connecting Waters Charter School in Stanislaus County, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Laura Joseph, and I work for Connecting Waters Charter School and have 2 students who have also graduated from charter schools, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Lisa Vargas. I work for Connecting Waters Charter Schools and Vendor Relations. I'm also an ex-homeschool mom through 2 charters, Connecting Waters and Keys to Learning, and I am opposed to AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Sanguinetti. I'm a mother of 4 from the Central Valley, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Julie Boersma. I'm the Education Services Director for Connecting Waters Charter Schools, which has 3 schools, and we serve TK through 12th in 13 counties, Central Valley to Bay Area. I strongly oppose 84 as a teacher and administrator. I also strongly oppose as a past parent of a student, my own daughter, who just graduated with honors after having 2 years of the opportunity to participate in.
I really apologize, but this is just name, organization, and position on the bill.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Whitcomb. I'm a teacher and advocate of charter schools and homeschooling, and I oppose.
Hello, my name is Shauna Reiswitz. I'm a teacher of 35 years in public schools, private schools, charter schools, both classroom-based and non-classroom-based, also an ex-CTA member for 12 years. And all teachers know that classrooms do not meet all the needs of charter schools. So I'm opposing. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rachel Sullivan. I'm a mother and a 30-year teacher at both public and brick and mortar and non-brick and mortar, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Sullivan Howell. I am a graduate from Blue Ridge Academy based in Los Angeles. I support educational freedom and strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Wendy Eklund, mom, charter school leader, and community advocate, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rana Yellen from San Pedro. I'm on the leadership team at Suncoast Prep Charter School and a homeschool mom. I'm representing several thousand families in Alma Asuci's district, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Bustamante, and I am a charter school sibling as well as a product of both charter and traditional public schools, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katie Walker. I'm a credentialed school psychologist, and I oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Teresa Grant. I'm a credentialed school psychologist. I work at Suncoast Charter, and I oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Shawn Narones. I'm a credentialed speech pathologist. I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kira McAfee. I have 3 children enrolled in Clarksville Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Lourdes Ornelas, and I am a teacher at Carrillo Point Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charles Glowak. I'm a teacher at Carrillo Point Academy, and I, along with my friends from Los Angeles Unified School District, United Teachers Los Angeles, strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Star Hendricks. I'm a personalized learning teacher at Core Charter School and a proud mom of these 3 young men who attend my school, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Angel Hill, and I am a mother of two. My son, who I successfully homeschooled through Core Charter School in Marysville, he's now 20 in college, and this is my daughter, who I'm also homeschooling through Core Charter School in Marysville, and I oppose 84. Thank you.
My name is Felicia Petrie. I'm a educator of charter school students in Loomis, California, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abigail Costello. I teach at John Adams Academy, and I oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Shannon Percival. I'm a teacher and a parent at John Adams Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning. I'm Anthony Swazzano, Latin teacher at John Adams Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Great. You can come and translate the Latin over the front of the Senate chambers next time you're there.
Hi, my name's Keely Burke, and I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Peyton Burke, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Holly Welch, and I am a charter school parent, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tabitha Helms. I'm a California credentialed teacher, parent of 3 homeschooled through our charter school, Pacific Coast Academy, and representing 17 families at Gather and Grow Homeschool Co-op. We oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Nicole Smith from San Diego County. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 through Pacific Coast Academy. I'm also representing 17 families from our Gather and Grow Co-op, and we strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is my daughter Ruby, and my name is Sarah Ledesma. I am a parent, and she is a charter student at Feather River Sequoia Grove. I am a 2-time cancer survivor, and homeschool has saved my life as well as hers, so we oppose AB 84.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Barbara Goodman, and I'm here with my children. We've been homeschooling through Cedar Peak Charter School, Cedar Peak Charter Academy for 10 years, and we oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Rachel Escalona. I am with Clarksville Charter School. I am a parent and a teacher with Clarksville, and I highly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Morning, I'm Rebecca Morales. I'm a credentialed teacher with Clarksville Charter School, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mary Frederick. I'm a credentialed California teacher and the administrator of Foothill Learning Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Ruby Kuntz. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
I'm Logan Ayers. I go to Cottonwood Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name's Ollie. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Nova. I am a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name's Allison Kuntz. I'm a charter school parent, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Kelly Ayers. I'm a charter school parent, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Linda McCrory. I'm a charter school parent, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is River McCrory. I am a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Krista Kant Hargo, and I'm a mental health worker, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Jillian Alaimo, and I'm a parent at a charter school, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Solana Rockney. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Addison Alaimo. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Sunshine Kennedy. I am a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Jean-Elise Rockney. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Lisa Todd. I'm a retired instructional assistant for the traditional public schools, and I strongly oppose this bill, AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Angela Botko, and I'm a teacher at Core Charter School in Marysville. I also am a parent of 2 daughters who go to the charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joe Geddes. I am a parent of charter school students and also a current Sacramento City Unified School District teacher, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Rylan Geddes, and thanks to my charter, I'm able to go to high school and eventually college, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kaylin Geddes. I'm a mom of 5 and advocate for charter schools, homeschool charters, and independent study, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Summer Jesse. My family has been enrolled with public charter schools for 14 years, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and good morning. My name is Zoe Jesse. I'm a recent graduate of a public charter school, and I oppose AB 84. And if the aim of this institution is equity specifically for education, then I...
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zane Jesse. I am currently enrolled in a public charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Heather A. Bingham. I'm a credentialed teacher of 24 years and a parent of 4, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Wendy Durrott. I'm from Fresno, California. I'm a vendor for local charter schools, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Morning. My name is Mark Durrott. I'm a 7-year educator with Yosemite and Monarch Charter Schools in Fresno, California. I oppose AB 84. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm thriving because of my non-classroom based charter, and I proudly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Jacqueline Baxter, and I'm the parent of 2 students at a non-classroom based charter, and I proudly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Colin Baxter. I'm a high school counselor at a public school in Sacramento County, and I have been for the last 12 years, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tracy Feaster. I am a charter school parent, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Lily, and I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Nice T-shirt.
Hi, I'm Shannon Huber, and I am a charter school parent, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Levi Huber. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Luke Huber. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jen Andres. I've been a homeschooling parent through the charter school for 15 years, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you very much.
I'm Faustina Andres, a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Isaac Kite. I'm a 6th grade student with Feather River Charter School in Oak Grove, California, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Height, and I'm a credentialed teacher of 25 years with Feather River Charter School, serving students in Sacramento County, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Penny. This is my daughter Everly, and we oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Clara Harvey. I am a student of Lakeview Charter School. I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you, Clara. You did great.
Hi, I'm Erica Barish. I'm a credentialed teacher and curriculum coordinator with Lakeview Charter School in Sequoia Grove. I serve students in Mendocino County, and I'm strongly opposed to AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Evangeline Mayshide, and I'm a student at Clarksville Charter School, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Genevieve Scheid. I'm a parent of 2 students at Clarksville Charter School, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm James Scheid. I am the parent of 2 lovely students that are enrolled through Clarksville Charter School, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kylie O'Kennedy. I'm a parent of charter students, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
My name is Storio Kennedy. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Serenity O'Kennedy. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Denali O'Kennedy, and I very strongly oppose
AB 84. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Monica Flores. I'm from Stockton, California, a parent of
an autistic ADHD child who attends charter school, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melanie Holder. I'm a homeschool charter school mom, and I oppose AB 84.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael McGrath. My daughter attends South Sutter Charter School, and we strongly oppose Bill 84. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Francisco Engelhard, a disabled U.S. Army veteran. I was entrusted to defend this country. I should be entrusted to educate my children. I strongly oppose AB 84.
Thank you. Over to you.
My name is Luca, Charter Academy, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Rocky. I am a charter school student. I oppose AB 84.
Thank you. I'm Judy Engelhard, and this is Flora Engelhard, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Viva Engelhard. I am a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Dawn Gacious, and I'm a credentialed teacher of 11 years, and I work at Sutter Peak Charter Academy, and we are green in both reading and math, and I oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Tempe Barrett. I'm a student at Feather River Charter School, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Siobhan Barrett. I'm an employee at Feather River Charter School and also a parent of students at our charter school, and we strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cami Funk. My daughter is enrolled in Clarksville Charter School, and we oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Samara Stoner. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Natalie Elko. I'm a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Jessica Elko. I'm a charter school parent, and I also oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Rowe. I am a former charter school parent and a current vendor. I oppose AB 84.
My name is Lisa Heinmarsh, and I am a former charter school parent with a special needs child, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
I am Alex, and please vote no on AB 84.
Hello, my name is Kaysen. Please vote no on this AB 84.
Hello, my name is Colin, and I very strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Ashley. Those are my boys. We homeschool. We love it. Please oppose this bill.
My name is Ariana Keller. I work for New Hope Charter School that has a beautiful partnership with the Robles School District, serving their 7th and 8th graders, and I homeschool my kids through Cottonwood Charter School. I oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Johnson. I'm a homeschool charter parent. I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, my name is Benjamin, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Jackie Teeple. I'm grandmother and aunt to successfully homeschooled children, and please vote no for AB 84.
My name is Milena Garcia, and I oppose.
My name is Isla Garcia, and I oppose.
My name is Alina Garcia, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Jessica Westra. I am a public school drama teacher of 19 years and also a charter school parent, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Olivia Westra, and I'm a charter school student, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Janelle Semino. I am a charter school parent, and I'm also a board member. And I oppose AB 84 for many reasons. Some of them, or one of them, would be that it would eliminate equality.
Right now, it's just a
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Just as a reminder, it's been a while since we've had a lot of testimonies, Me Too's going through. So just as a reminder for the public, at this time we've had the way that the committee works is that you have two lead witnesses, and we have 2 lead opposition witnesses, and everyone else is considered a Me Too, which means that we state our name, our organization that we're representing, and your position on the bill. So that is what we have right now. So just as a reminder for the public, especially for those that are brand new and especially for our kiddos.
Hello, my name is Tiger Semino. I am a charter school student, and I urge you to oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Jace, and I am a charter school student, and I urge you to oppose AB 84.
My name is Benjamin Hartung. I'm a charter school educator, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Margie Hartung. I'm a grandmother of 15 charter school children and a mother of 5 successful children in the charter school, educator, music educator, and I oppose AB 84.
My name's Kathleen Porter, and I am with Feather River Charter School, homeschooling 3 children, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Ezra. I am a charter school student, and I am 10, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Amelia. I am a charter school student, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Whitney Ellis, and I am the mother of 2 children that are learning and thriving, and my son is healing from brain cancer because of the ability to be in a non-classroom based charter. So we strongly oppose AB 84 for our family and families just like ours.
My name is Carter Ellis, and I strongly oppose.
My name is Ruby Ellis, and I oppose AB 84.
Hello, my name is Owen Tatum, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kim Tatum, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Paula Herod, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Bo Herod, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Cameron Tatum. This is Posey Herod. We're going into 5th grade, and we strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Lena L. Reyes. I'm a parent of 2 public school kids, and I'm a teacher who worked at Highlands Community Charter School, and I strongly support AB 84.
My name is Lindsay Curtis, and I was an educator at Highlands Community Charter School, and I'm also in strong support of AB 84.
My name is Selena Tasabia. I'm a former Highlands Community Charter School teacher, and I strongly support AB 84.
Good morning. We're the Dominguez family, and we are with Cottonwood Charter School, and we oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ayan. I'm in Cabrillo Point Academy. I'm here to vote no on AB 84.
Hi, my name is Pallavi. My son goes to Cabrillo Point Academy. I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amol Arao. That's my son Ayan, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Brock Campbell from the California Baptist Capital Ministry on behalf of Lighthouse Baptist Church in Santa Maria, Faith Baptist Church in Wheatland, and Baptist for Biblical Values in opposition.
Hi, I'm Emily Campbell with the California Baptist Capital Ministry. On behalf of Freedom's Way Baptist Church in Castaic, we oppose.
David Bola, grateful for the assembly member getting all these family members involved in opposition. Thank you.
My name is Melissa Warren, and I'm a charter school advocate and an aunt to charter students, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Leslie Loy. I'm a proud charter parent, and I oppose AB 84.
My name is Felicity Gosser. I'm a parent of 2 children at Golden Valley Charter Schools, and I oppose AB 84. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Gillen, and I oppose AB 84 and represent my family and community who desperately need charter schools. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Adelita Gonzalez. I'm the president of the Homeschool Association of California, and I strongly oppose AB 84. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Christopher Sanchez with the Consumer Federation of California in support.
Hi, I'm
Bear Creekmore.
You strongly oppose.
I strongly oppose AB 84.
Hi, I'm Nicole Creekmore with Homeschool Mule and a charter school homeschool mom, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
I'm Azure Creekmore, and I also strongly oppose AB 84.
My name is Donnie Creekmore with homeschoolmule.com, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
I am Ezra Creekmore. I am with Homeschool Meal, and I strongly oppose AB 84.
Good morning, Chair and Committee. I'm April Robinson, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members. Jonathan Munoz on behalf of Green Dot Public Schools, as well as Learn for Life Public Charter Schools in strong opposition.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle Ingram, founder of Stand Up Sacramento County, and we are members of Feather River Charter in opposition. Thank you.
Jim Edmonds in opposition of AB 84.
Madam Chair and members, Kurt Kimmelshoe here today on behalf of Real Journey Academies. With your indulgence, just really want to thank the Assembly member and his committee staff, as well as the Senate Education Committee staff. We've undertaken a lot of work on both bills. We know that process is going to continue. We have a lot left to go, but just really appreciate the staff's efforts and everyone's efforts around the table, and hope those conversations are productive through the summer. But for now, opposed.
Thank you.
Hi there, Chris Bollinger on behalf of the Opportunity Youth Schools Coalition and Lighthouse Charter School in opposition. Thank you.
Madam Chair and Senators, Adam Keglin on behalf of Alliance College Ready Public Schools in opposition.
Madam Chair, members, Michael Young with the California Teachers Association in strong support.
Wow, we actually got through. That's pretty impressive. So I just want to commend all of the students that were able to come and attend and share their testimony and be part of the process of creating legislation in California. I hope this was a great learning and memorable experience for all of you. Loved the very well dressed. Some of these kids were incredibly well dressed with suits, probably better dressed than some folks out here that work here officially, but love to see them here. And I also wanted to commend many of the parents who are absolutely blessed and privileged and honored to be able to homeschool their children. It is such a fast-moving pace of life, just life in general, and how quickly time goes. And when you have that opportunity to be able to spend that time and really cherish that time and help your child grow and learn, I think that's an amazing and beautiful gift that you're giving your child. So congratulations to those parents that are able to be able to do that. You're blessed and honored and privileged on that end. So congratulations. So we are going to bring it back to the dais, and we'll begin with Senator Laird.
Thank you. They're starting the last bill on natural resources, so I was hoping to get a little discussion in before I have to run out and vote. And the reason I was smiling was that I had a bill heard yesterday based on a FICMAC study where I didn't take every recommendation. So I was relating to the circumstance. I missed part of the opening discussion because I was in another hearing. And I think that the problem is this has been reduced to a binary situation that you're either for this or against this, or charter schools is one way or you're against it if it's another. And I voted for the Ashby bill, Senate Bill 414, which I didn't feel totally comfortable with, because I know there's negotiations going on and that there's somebody that has a little bit of a more charter bill into it, and this bill, and various charter organizations and various education organizations. And I think that sometimes it's misread that if we support either of those bills, we are taking a position when what we're really doing is feeding into the negotiations and allowing the negotiations to happen. And so I want to ask a couple of questions, even though I think the negotiations are where the game is, to sort of address some of the concerns that I heard in people coming to my office or testifying or writing. And one of them is I know this is in the weeds, but it seems like one of the big issues is about vendors. And the question is under this bill, can non-classroom based charters continue to utilize non-credentialed vendors?
Yes, except, let me clarify, they can use vendors that are approved by teachers that are not coming at the request of the parents. So, for example, if a teacher is rubber stamping a parent's request, that would not be appropriate. But if a teacher, a credentialed
under this bill,
under the current language of the bill, a credentialed teacher would be able to approve vendors using these enrichment vouchers. Now, let me also clarify, since there was a lot of parents and families that raised the medically fragile or children with special medical needs. If it is in a IEP, an individualized education plan, for as part of a professionally reviewed special education plan, these enrichment vouchers can continue to be used for any and all services that are included in IEPs. So we just want to crack down on the abuses. We know that we have heard documented cases of family members using these vouchers for multi-day Disneyland family passes. We've heard families using them for religious education programs, for private education programs. These, in essence, what we have now are gifts of public funds that are privatizing, public education dollars. And so, while we understand that the homeschool model, that parents are doing what parents do, they are advocating for the kids to get, any additional services that they may be able to get through these enrichment vouchers. I'm a parent of a public school parent, and if I got, we're hearing reports that up to 5,000 families are receiving up to $5,000 from some of these charter schools to advertise and to get more enrollment, and so we're just trying to crack down on the abuses while at the same time allow for legitimate educational or special education
needs. To go back
needs.
to the original question on vendors, which you answered, one of the criticisms then is that somehow charter schools are being held to a higher standard than public schools. Could you speak to that?
Absolutely not. First of all...
no, absolutely not. Not that you're not going to speak to it.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Thank you, Senator, for the clarification. First of all, public schools are not giving thousands of dollars in, Proposition 98 taxpayer dollars to parents. And that's why I suspect if the vast majority of the parents and kids that testified in opposition, if they're allowed to explain their opposition, the biggest concern from the homeschool parents in particular is that we're proposing to, limit or set guardrails on what essentially, they have no guardrails now under existing law. I don't know if Mr. Fine with FICMAT, wants to add anything further in terms of FICMAT's recommendation as to, or Ms. Mancini.
Cassie Mancini with CSEA. I think I would say the intent of this bill is always to apply what we're doing equally to all types of local education agencies, charter schools, public schools, non-classroom based schools, everyone. And I know that in our conversations around this section of the bill on educational enrichment activities, that's I think, what the direction we're moving towards in negotiations, and we hope to make substantial progress on that over this summer. But when I first learned about this issue, I was kind of confused because it was always my impression that homeschools were outside our traditional public education system. And as we learned more about this, we've seen many non-classroom based charter schools start to market themselves specifically to homeschool parents by offering this money. And I think from our perspective, we feel that students are really entitled to the most robust education.
Okay, thank you. Let me just ask the charter person if it's okay with the chair. Chair. It's okay if I ask the charter person.
Oh, yes, please, sorry.
To respond.
Yeah, if their bill said what Assemblymember Marisucci says is their intent, what they would have is our language in Senate Bill 414, which explicitly requires teacher sign-off and authorization. Their bill doesn't do that. Their bill does discriminate. It allows recipients of ELOP funding, which non-classroom-based schools don't get.
Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, since I'm on a campaign against acronyms in the Education Budget Subcommittee. People need to know what you're talking about.
As you know, most public schools are eligible for ELOP funding, with the exception of non-classroom-based schools, and they can spend this money quite flexibly, including on non-credentialed staff who provide expanded learning.
But let me just say that what we're experiencing is you're advocating for the bill that's in negotiations. He's advocating for the bill that's in negotiations. And what you're doing is saving everybody in negotiations time by having the negotiations here. Okay. But you're making the point of what is going to be discussed in that. In that is one difference.
More important, our bill does exactly.
That's why we had a hearing on that bill that was separate. Okay. So then let me, they're yelling at me to get over to natural resources, but let me try to finish this. There are a couple of other things, and one is that there's a moratorium on non-classroom based charter schools that expires on January 1st, and I believe that's part of your motivation. So why is this bill important to do given that expiration?
Yes, thank you, Senator. So the moratorium was placed because of these high-profile cases of documented fraud, and so it's urgent for the legislature to take action this year to ensure that when the moratorium expires, that we have the necessary guardrails in place so that we can prevent, these kinds of hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars being defrauded. That is why we need to take action this year.
And then one last thing, because a lot of the incoming basically said this bill bans homeschooling or it defunds charter schools.
Absolutely not.
Could you speak to that?
Yes, sir. As I started my presentation, this is not an anti-charter school bill. This is not an anti-homeschool bill. This is a anti-bad actor bill. This is a good government bill that is trying to crack down, again, on the multiple cases of hundreds of millions of dollars that have been abused, and so I hope we have. The Charter School Association, the opposition acknowledged that we have a problem. So we have that common ground. I think we heard the spirit of agreement in terms of needing guardrails on the enrichment vouchers. Although that's going to be an ongoing philosophical conversation, but that is not this bill.
Thank you, yeah. And I apologize because I have to go. But this has been an important discussion because I hope that you hear some of the things that were heard in the negotiations, and I hope you do as well. And what this really does, and what the hearing on SB 414, the Ashby bill, was to lay these issues on the table so they can be discussed and resolved. And I think all of us reserve the right at the future not to support the outcome if some of these concerns aren't taken seriously in the negotiations. But for the negotiations to happen, we have to vote each bill forward. And that's why I voted for the Ashby bill, even though I had concerns with it, to make sure those concerns were on the table and in the negotiations. And it's why I will be voting for your bill today, to make sure you're at the table doing the same thing. And I'm really sorry. They're just all waiting for me to vote. So I'm going to go over and vote, and I will be back to vote here. Thank you. I appreciate the responses from everyone.
Thank you, Senator. And through the chair, if I may just add that as chair of the Assembly Education Committee, I want to make it clear to members of the public that we will be hearing Senator Ashby's Senate Bill 414. As chair of the committee, my recommendation for that bill is to support Senator Ashby's bill so that we can continue these negotiations.
So glad, because I supported that bill as well, as Senator Laird. And it doesn't mean that Senator Laird doesn't come back before the conversations have ended, and he might actually have an opportunity to expand a little bit more if he has more questions, if time permits. Any other questions, comments? Senator Choi, Senator Gonzalez, and Senator Cortese.
Assemblymember Morasucci, thank you for presenting your bill. But as you have seen, I tried to count, and I was close to over 200 parents, people came out in opposition to your bill. And to my count, I've been counting this way. Only 25 people spoke in support of the bill. Obviously, as you know, the charter school was designed for the purpose of what? Do you know? Can you state why charter school was created?
Sure. I mean, as your staff report summarizes the history of charter schools were founded to allow for basically innovative new approaches using public education dollars to allow for flexibility but again, the key is using the public dollars. As long as we're going to use public dollars, we want to make sure. I think we should have bipartisan agreement that we want to make sure that public dollars are not being used for fraud, like in the case of the A3 charters, where they were taking Little League baseball rosters and enrolling the kids without the kids or their parents knowing about it, and collecting enrollment-based, Proposition 98 public education dollars in funding, over $400 million. So I hope that we have that bipartisan agreement that we have a problem, we need to crack down on it, we need to tighten oversight and accountability, and that's exactly what we are negotiating with Senator Ashby, with all the stakeholders to tighten up, so that some people say that, well, look, A3 charters, they were criminally convicted, and so why do we need more oversight? We need more oversight so that we can prevent these kinds of abuses. A3 charters, $400 million. Highlands Community Charter, just in 2 fiscal years, over $180 million. We want to prevent these kind of things. Our precious public education taxpayer dollars for being used for fraud or for abused, and that is the goal.
I totally agree that bad actors that you have illustrated should be punished and prevent from happening in the future. But as you mentioned, charter school was allowed in the beginning for innovative education and then also flexibility, but you missed the very important part. That was those innovations and flexibility means that the schools, public schools, could not do their best job because of too many regulations. that's the reason the charter school was created, to be free of so many state regulations, and then they can be independent from the school districts and be their own and create the education programs innovatively, and then also meeting the personal needs, and then also education doesn't have to be always classroom based, depending upon situation, environment, and then also individual needs. And then as I've been serving on the Assembly, now on the Senate, I have seen any bills relating to charter schools has been continuously creating more regulations away from the original intent of the creation of the charter schools, for them to be free and focus upon their academic innovations and the creativity and the flexibility in learning, to create the learning environment. Obviously, no one will approve of public tax dollars to be abused and personal use, and the bad actors you have illustrated should be caught and punished. And then SB 414, which will be heading to the Education Committee in the Assembly, will be dealt with. That creates very necessary guardrails for public schools to prevent those bad actors. The illustration of the public dollars that has been abused, I am just receiving message from checking from my staff says that that you have mentioned that the $400 million was a fraud amount committed by 83 charter schools. Simply, my staff members found it was not the case. Yes, they are agreeing. Charter brought in $400 million through its network of 19 online charter schools. But the actual fraud you are referring to is only $80 million that the two people funneled into private companies. And since being caught, the total amount, $240 million has been paid back. Now, we had one actor in this case that I know of is the bad actor, and they are caught and they are being punished, and they have paid for it. But because of one or few bad actors, your bill is just choking the original intent of freedom of innovation and flexibility of the charter school character in the beginning that we have allowed. All charter schools, more than 700,000 charter school students are being penalized because of one or two bad actors. Those ones we need to watch out and catch them and prosecute them and penalize them. There's no question. But the overall, just because of always under, no matter what the situation it may be, there are bound to be bad actors. We have a red lights, green lights. And we all know that we are supposed to stop at the red light, but some people go through and we try to catch them. And that means we should not allow the vehicles on the street. We don't do that. So for that token, I think you need to hear the voices so far. This many people have come up, and then I think you need to stand on the side of students and the parents that they want, rather than governmental point of view and catching bad actors and penalize them. And we do have vehicles, so that's the reason we have a mechanism that each school district, authorizing school district will catch them, and board members will catch them, parents can catch them and report them, district attorneys can catch them. And there are multiple ways, rather than collectively penalizing all the charter schools. Unfortunately, I would not be able to support, and I hope you can change your mind and withdrawing this bill.
So,
please, no clapping and no responses as we're going through this. I want to make sure that we're able to do this in a timely process. We're already 2 hours in, so yeah, if you we request silence while we're having discussion. Assemblymember Marsucci.
Thank you, Madam, through the chair. Thank you, Senator Choi. I would caution anyone on basing policy decisions on the number of people that come out to testify. I suspect that if you survey Californians, there would be strong, overwhelming support to crack down on corruption, to crack down on public education dollars being fraudulently collected by these bad actors. We know that it's not just A3, as Mr. Fine. Mr. Fine is the recognized statewide expert on fiscal management, and he testified the decades of calls to strengthen oversight and accountability. So these are not isolated cases. That is what my bill, Senator Ashby's bill, we are in agreement on that principle. And I want to acknowledge, I agree with you on principle. What we're basically negotiating with my bill and Senator Ashby's bill is how to strike that balance between strengthening oversight and accountability while allowing for necessary flexibility for the good charter schools to continue to operate. And so we are in agreement on somewhere we need to strike that balance. And so that is the goal of the ongoing negotiations.
Just to add to your response, that SB 414 has been agreed upon and supported by senator colleagues that I spoke to, and then also many parents. So I think if you compromise between the two bills and come up with some big amendment, I think people will agree with you to crack down bad actors.
That is the goal.
Okay, I think next up we have Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and I just want to thank the author and all the parents and all of the supporters, opponents for coming out. I know it's not easy to bring your kids over here and have them testify, but I have as a mother of a 10-year-old, I just really appreciate seeing the children, regardless of what side you're on. But I do want to thank the author. I'm a wholehearted supporter of ethics and financial training and ensuring that we uphold taxpayer money to the highest standard, and that the officials that are working for not just the public, but most importantly children, are held to the highest standard. In fact, I have a bill up in local government today, SB 827, that asks for ethics and fiscal training of all of our local government officials, because I do believe in that. I've had a lot of reports of corruption in my district, and so I've lived experience as an elected official. I think whether it's $400 million or $80 million, whatever the amount, all I know is it's a lot of money that is not going towards children, regardless if you want to take your child to a charter school, a home-based, or public traditional school. That is a lot of money. I actually authored SB 991 back a year or so ago that continued the Inspector General for LA Unified School District as well to conduct audits, investigations, deter fraud, waste and abuse. So I just want you all to know where I'm coming from as it pertains to this bill, and I do commend the author. It's never easy to tell, especially after this the daylight opens and you start to see the fraud and abuse again, especially against our children in this really incredible state of California, where we are the fourth largest economy now. We want all of our children, I think, regardless of party affiliation and where you're at, to be well taken care of and respected, and as well as the parents that are putting in the work. But I think this strikes a good balance, and I know you will continue to do that work, to work with our other Senate colleague and to work with supporters and those that are opposed on a good landing space for this bill. I just have a couple questions, so just for you, of course, as LA, as I represent Los Angeles Unified School District SDU, and the issue of additional tasks like auditing and clear guidelines, instructions, etc. If the bill should get out of committee today, what will you do to ensure, as the author, that authorizers are meaningfully involved in the conversations moving forward?
Yes, I thank you, Senator, first of all, for your leadership and wanting to ensure that taxpayer dollars are properly spent. I want to emphasize not only your bill to call for the Inspector General for Los Angeles Unified, or AB 84, which is calling for a statewide Inspector General. That Inspector General would strengthen oversight over all publicly funded schools, not only charter schools, right, but our traditional public schools. In terms of your question, I think you're touching on some of the concerns raised by our school administrators in terms of the authorizer concerns that they raise. It's my understanding that the primary concern that the authorizers are raising are in terms of the need for more funding to do their jobs. And so our original bill was proposing to allow the authorizers to collect, a higher oversight fee from the charter school in order to be able to do their job, because as we're seeing at the federal government level, when you cut those whose jobs it is to oversee these agencies, then bad things happen, and so we want to make sure that the oversight, the authorizers who have the oversight responsibility have the necessary resources to be able to do their job. But we took that amendment because the Charter School Association said, that's going to increase cost to operate charters. So, in the spirit of negotiating with the Charter School Association, we had to compromise on that point. So now, no good deed goes unpunished. We in the spirit of good faith negotiation, we took that amendment on the assembly side, and now we have our school administrators, expressing concerns that they're not going to have the resources necessary to do their oversight responsibilities. But that's what that is all about.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. Once again, I know that you are going to work very hard it's never easy to appease all sides, but I really appreciate that work and the answer you've provided. And just a question, if I may, through the chair and the author to the opposition on, teacher credentialing is very important. I would like to know, what is stopping folks from getting a teaching credential? I know it's cumbersome, but I think most of the teachers that are in charters as well as public traditional schools often have, masters or PhDs or some sort of formal education. So just a true question to the opposition as to why teaching credentials are sort of off the table.
I don't think that's not, to my knowledge, teaching credentials is not at issue in this round. The laws were amended some years ago to mandate that all charter school teachers must hold a credential. There was a phase-in of that. The phase-in is now complete as of this current school year, and charter schools face the same teaching credential challenges that the entire system faces, and in particular shortages in areas, particularly math, science, special ed, English learner support, etc. Those are the primary issues that we now have over credentialing, and I think there were some issues over other credentials, but I believe those have been brought off the table, and we're still doing some technical cleanup on that.
Through the chair, if I may, I believe, Senator Gonzalez, what you're referring to is our bill that requires that a credentialed teacher has to approve how the enrichment vouchers that some of these homeschool-based charters are issuing to homeschool parents, and that is a difference between AB 84 and SB 414. Just to according to the Assembly Education Committee analysis of SB 414, their language simply would require education agencies, schools, school districts to vet vendors through policies ensuring safety, value, and qualifications. So without defining, what constitutes safety, value, and qualifications. We're trying to set the standard, saying, okay, public education dollars need to be approved by credentialed teachers. They're approaching it with these undefined requirements that vendors be approved to ensure safety, value, and qualifications. We're negotiating. How do we try to find common ground between those two? That they're saying that it's overly restrictive, that credentialed employees have to approve the use of enrichment vouchers. We're saying, well, these are public dollars, public education dollars. There should be some, gatekeepers of standards. That's what we're negotiating right now.
And thank you for the follow-up. I was going to ask for a follow-up, but if you would like to respond, I'd love to hear your
I misunderstood your question. Our bill does require that the charter school boards adopt a policy that requires credentialed teacher to sign off on enrichment spending. We object to the term vouchers. We don't see these as vouchers, but that our bill does require exactly that. Please look at the language in Section 43. You will not see anything here about teacher sign-off. Okay? That's part of why negotiations can be difficult. But I think our bill clearly does exactly what he says his bill does. This bill, AB 84, doesn't do what Assemblymember Marisucci is saying that it does. And we need to get that kind of clarity. We're at table, we're willing, happy to negotiate this, and it's in our bill.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate the responses on both sides, and thank you again for bringing this forward. I support the bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gonzalez. I also just want to make a comment. I understand that there's two bills in this space, but I do want to be very clear that we're discussing AB 84 and just want to remind the members of the committee of that as well. And if it's referenced, I want it to be in context to AB 84. Thank you. Senator Cortese?
Thank you for that clarification, Madam Chair, and the opportunity to ask a couple of questions. I think we have a long-standing policy here in the Senate that we don't negotiate amendments from the dais, and we're just kind of wasting our time, talking about things that need to be in the bill that aren't on the table today at any length. And in the time I've been here, I've heard the last issue brought up at least a half a dozen times. That shouldn't go on ad infinitum. So I'll leave it to the chair, but that's my feeling about that. So I've had the opportunity, of course, to prepare and vote on a Senate bill in this space, to meet with the author of this bill and his staff and go over whatever questions I had, recently, and then to meet with one of the charter schools charter school organizations, which is in opposition in my district at some length just before last weekend. It seems like their concerns, which I asked them to document in memorandum form, and I did my best to take notes at the time, mental notes especially, are resolved. And I just want to make sure with the author that that's true. They were concerned about the public code provisions, but I understand that that's been removed. So that's not a concern anymore. I understand, going back and forth just over the last 24 hours with staff, that there's some concern in my district about the transition to the SACS accounting system, but that hasn't come up in negotiations, or has it? Can you just clarify that as the author?
Yes. So SACS, I
mean,
in the spirit of
the concern was standing that up in short order.
Yeah.
In addition to, I think cost is a common thread through everything we do here, but standing it up and how soon does it have to be done was raised as an issue.
So the basic issue is that we're trying to achieve parity in terms of how traditional public schools and charter schools are reviewed and audited using the SACS system. The concern, as I understand it, being raised from some of the charter schools, not all, because there are many, again, good charter schools that are already using accounting software that is compatible with the SACS system. But there are some, charter schools that may be using like, what is it, QuickBooks? Yeah, QuickBooks. It may be cheaper, but we're saying, well, if you're going to be receiving, millions of dollars that we should have parity in terms of ensuring the same oversight. If I may, Mr. Fine can speak to that.
I'm mainly concerned about but let me just stipulate on my part. I mean, just one member here is going to be casting a vote that I'm in favor of alignment, and I don't know if I even call it parity. I just think people need to be on one system. And I was on a very large public school board years ago which had 7 feeder districts coming in a high school district, all on different systems. It was the biggest problem was the detriment to the students themselves, because things couldn't be tracked. Now this is primarily accounting. My real question then is, if I'm for it, what's a realistic ramp up time, to give people to comply on something like this? I'm not an expert on either IT or setting up new accounting systems, but it just seems that there should be some reasonableness there.
Senator, in the amendments, the time period was extended out. Charter schools, I would share with you, SACS, the standardized account code structures, the state common system for, actually gets confused. It's a common classification and a system, both. We kind of interchange the word to describe both, for all LEAs in the state. They all ultimately report to the State Department of Education using SACS. The difference is some charters, many charters, elect to use what we call the alternative form. So they're not on the state web-based system. They submit their data in a more summarized form. Some of the answers to questions from a policy perspective, from an oversight perspective, we're looking for more detail. And so as a traditional LEA would be providing, that system is free. There's no cost to it. There's nothing in this bill that requires them to change, whether it's QuickBooks or their back office provider. You heard from some of those folks testify today, or whatever system they're using. They can continue to use that. They just have to convert the data and submit it to the state in the more robust SACS system, as opposed to the alternative, the more summarized alternative form.
So, on the theme of costs, my impression is that we have a lot of charters that are operating on extraordinarily thin margins, which in and of itself scares the hell out of me. But that said, this is not an anti-charter bill or a charter critique bill. It's if we want them to do something new, and they're they have a very thin margin to operate on. What's reasonable? Somebody's got to do that work. And I know you said it's free. How labor intensive?
Well, the state doesn't charge. The state certainly doesn't charge for the system and access. You've appropriated the funds.
In your estimation, how labor intensive is?
Well, because they all ultimately report at a high level, in that they're somewhat familiar, or their back office, if I can use a more generic term, their bookkeeper kind of business office function is familiar with it. I would say there's definitely a cost to them locally to get up to speed with the added details. The system is fairly straightforward for those that use it every day. If you're a back office provider, a professional service that provides this service to charters, you are absolutely up to speed.
So you feel that the amended time is adequate?
I do, with it being, to your point, the amended time, the extended time. Yes, sir.
All right. And I would hope, I'll probably just ask this universally to the author when I get to the end of a couple more questions, and I just have a couple more, as to whether the author is willing to continue to have that dialogue, down the stretch here in terms of just ramp up time. What's real? We have a whole variety of entities out there. Like I said, I don't want to stereotype, but just from what I've heard from one of the more robust ones in our district, in my district, Senate District 15, hearing the concerns about how much any one of these issues would be a tipping point for them into insolvency just is scary. And it probably belies other challenges and problems. But that said, the teacher credentialing issue, I thought everybody here agreed is a non-issue, because that was also brought up within the last 5 days to me as a problem. So if it's a problem, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but it sounds like if there's continued use of non-credentialed personnel, that should be in the process of being phased out or should have already been changed. There's nothing in this bill that's going to raise the credentialing standard for a charter beyond what is already in statute. Is that accurate? Let me just keep it.
That is accurate.
The author. Okay, thank you. I wanted to acknowledge the fact that folks on the panel spoke to that as well. Lastly, shifting gears a little bit from the charter conversation I had, face to face going over things. Authorizers. I don't know, Assemblyman Marsucci, how much you've had the opportunity to engage them thus far on this bill in terms of negotiation. I don't know who could speak to that beyond the author, but I'm curious about that. And let me just say, I guess what I'm interested in is, to the extent there needs to be more conversations, that will occur. Clearly, you're having a separate hearing in your own committee. I guess my question is that an opportunity to hear more? Is that something you will do, not just as an author, but as a chair, to make sure that the authorizers themselves can get the rest of their concerns on the table in a negotiation?
Absolutely. I mean, we are having ongoing twice a week negotiations with all stakeholders, including Senator Ashby's office, including the Charter School Association, and those conversations will continue. As to your earlier point about the concern about the tipping point, about the cost of complying with requiring all charter schools to comply with SACS. Again, the bottom line is the spirit of our negotiations is that we want to crack down on the bad actors without hurting the good actors. So, in that spirit, we will continue to ensure that, to negotiate that, the cost burdens would not shut down the good actor charter schools.
Well, I believe your bill and the various enforcement and accountability items in your bill need to occur. I think, I want to really focus my last comment here on the authorizers. I think they need every opportunity to, sort of finalize a negotiation. It's uncommon at every level of education, in my experience, over too long, probably, that as soon as you say, we need you to do something else, no matter how simple that looks, provide safe parking space in your open parking lot, we need money. We need money for that. So I get it. I'm not here trying to do somebody's bidding and say, get them more money because there's more cost. To the contrary, I do, when I look at, what they're being required to do, I think there are a couple of few things that could genuinely be characterized as new. But I also think, it disappoints me, that there's a whole bunch of what they're being asked to do that they should have already been doing. And it falls under fiduciary duty. It falls under basic accountability. We have elected officials on school boards. And what this tells me is if they have not been doing this and they're coming in saying, yeah, well, we haven't been doing this, so help us, give us some financial help to do that and give us some structure and teach us how to do this. My God, since 1992, this is what's been going on. And it was predicted by people, including some of the folks who are in support today in 2025, that, if you don't have enough accountability and we go into this charter experiment, which is supposed to, as one of the senators said, is supposed to inform restructuring and constructive change in the traditional public school system. But if you don't have accountability and oversight, and the original bills didn't call for that, and folks don't exercise their fiduciary responsibility, whether they're at the superintendent's level or the superintendent's cabinet level or the school board members themselves, all hell's going to break loose eventually. And I think to some degree we've started to see hell breaking loose here. And it bothers the hell out of me that, even on the authorizer side, as much as I'm adamant that they need to be addressed, their issues need to be addressed, I hope you as the author will, assert to whatever extent you're comfortable, those items, those things, those responsibilities that they should have been doing in the first place. We're running school districts. There's not any additional overhead to keep the lights on, the copy machines going, the administrative staff going, the clerical staff going. That's all up and running. It's really a question of, are you going to sign off on charter renewals without doing your due diligence, or are you going to do your due diligence at some level? And I don't want to make it sound like I'm othering people in other places, other districts. I know for a fact that happens in my own district. It happens in my own district. A sort of a rubber stamping of a reauthorization or a renewal. And so I have sympathy on the resource issue, but I don't think we should be led to believe that these responsibilities weren't, in many cases, already required just by basic California law. And the same thing goes for things like gift of public funds. Those laws are on the books. There's many things that you're requiring here, which is why I'm supporting the bill, which essentially encapsulize multiple statutes and responsibilities and duties that are already out there that are just not held in one place at this moment. So thank you for your leadership, bringing it forward. I'll be an aye vote. I hope the rest of the negotiation goes well.
Thank you
Senator
very much, Senator.
Cortese, I know we have a representative from Keswick that I think wanted to speak a little bit to the concerns that you're raising. Did you want for her to just provide a bit more technical kind of feedback? And yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Sarah Petrowski on behalf of the California Association of School Business Officials and representing the coalition of authorizers who signed the concern letter. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say we are happy to engage in the discussions of the negotiations. We have not yet been invited to those, but would be happy to articulate those concerns if we are able to do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you through the chair. That was my primary point. It sounds like that's going to happen. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Next up, we have Senator Ochoa Bogue.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. So much. So it's interesting because obviously you're very endeared by many of the folks here in the Senate as the chair of education, because there's just so many issues, so many concerns, and so much opposition on either way. And it's interesting to note, I just want to note from the very top, that with amendments, you usually see people, neutralized or coming on board. And with the journey that you've had with this particular bill, I've noticed that you've had people come off of support or in opposition with the additional amendments. So what's a tough bill? I think, let me begin by saying that obviously, as with any system in government, we need to have oversight, we need to have accountability, and transparency. I'm huge on all those areas on many, many fronts. And when it comes to our audits that the state provides or that moves forward with, many a times it's been my experience these past 5 years in the Senate that we don't always do what the audit's recommendations are. They don't implement. We don't implement every single, or the departments don't implement every single item. And I actually asked once before in one of my committees as to why that was not the case. Why is it that we don't get we pay for these audits, and then you think that every department would eventually just look at those and just say, okay, we're going to make these modifications and implement those audit recommendations. And it was also interesting to note, or to mention on that front, that when I asked why those recommendations weren't always implemented, it was because then it would be the audit controller's office to be directing and administrating those departments. So it was up to the legislature, one, to cherry pick which ones they wanted to implement, and then codify them in bills and through the legislature. So that was interesting to note. So I just wanted to put that on the record because that is standard here, and that is standard practice for the legislature, which I did not know that, but it was very enlightening. So as we have conversations as to, who's cherry picking what, the legislature does that. And they do that, and they codify what they believe is important, and the legislature passes that. So right off the bat, I wanted to mention that. I also wanted to address, I'm going to start with my formal, I have my official list of questions. So I'm going to start with those really quick and those comments, and then I'll go with additional ones based on the comments that were given here. And I'm going to try to avoid the ones that have already been addressed because I don't want to be redundant and for essence of time. So since 2020, California has invested approximately $4 billion in Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, or ELOP, which supports tutoring and enrichment for K-6 students in site-based programs. Importantly, ELOP allows enrichments to be delivered by community-based organizations and non-credentialed providers, which, by the way, 3 members here from that committee supported that allocation of funding and for those programs. Students in non-classroom-based charter schools are already excluded from ELOP funding, or the Expanded Learning Opportunities programs. AB 84 would go even further by prohibiting those same students from accessing community-based enrichment altogether. That raises serious concerns with equity. And so with that in mind, has there been any conversations or considerations with regards to addressing that concern with our students in charter schools, in this bill particularly.
Yes, thank you, Senator, for your question. I know I've heard that from a lot of the homeschool parents that I've met with and spoken with. Let me first say that the enrichment funds that are at issue in AB 84, they are public education dollars that are being allocated for instruction. They're not allocated for enrichment. These are core LCFF Prop 98 dollars that were not set aside like the ELA program for before, after school, or summer enrichment activities. These are core educational dollars that are supposed to be spent on, instructional minutes. So why are these homeschool parents not benefiting from, the dollars being actually spent on educational minutes? That is one of the issues being raised with this bill. They are trying to get around that by characterizing this as enrichment funds, when in fact those dollars, they're not ELAP dollars. They are LCFF dollars that are intended to teach kids the curriculum. And so, clearly when you try to take away something that parents are receiving, that creates a big uproar, and that's the reason why we have this huge turnout of people that are focusing on this issue. But at the very least, we're trying to set up guardrails, so that we should all be able to agree. You can't, whether we characterize them as LCFF dollars or whether we try to analogize them to ELOP dollars, the bottom line is we should all be able to agree that public taxpayer dollars should not be spent to buy Disneyland passes, especially for the parents, or they shouldn't they shouldn't be used to pay parents to teach their kids,
Ooh.
Yeah.
On that point, be very, very cautious on that end, because we have another segment of community members who care for their loved ones in a healthcare facility that we as a state provide funding for, so that they can be home and actually provide for them rather than having them in facilities paid by the state. And it actually, there's a lot of conversations in which they advocate that they don't get paid enough in order to do that job. So there's other facilities where, the state is providing for family members to care for their loved ones in a capacity so that the state does not take that responsibility.
But the key difference there is that we are specifically allocating dollars for in-home supportive services. Here we're not paying parents who are not trained, who are not credentialed, to be teaching. And so that's it's the what the purpose and the intent of the funds are for. That's ultimately.
And though I agree with you, here's another scenario that you might also consider within that perspective, is that our schools do field trips. They take kids to Magic Mountain, and they pay for the chaperones to be able to attend the schools. They don't.
It's my experience that they do.
It is my experience that they do as well. That they will
maybe
provide.
Charter schools are, but I don't know of any traditional public schools are.
What's that?
It's my experience that this occurs in both charter and traditional schools.
Well, according to the LA Times, we just read an article that came out several years ago, now it's probably about 5 years ago, in which they actually specify that particular component, that public schools do pay for these field trips for students to go there, and for the chaperones. But the technicalities on that, and depending on various schools, but we do have schools that do pay for these extracurricular activities to go. And, with this particular, with ELA funding, there's also the opportunities that are getting paid to have enrichment opportunities that don't have credentialed teachers. That aside, we do have, and I do appreciate the point in which we have credentialed teachers authorizing how and what enrichment activities are being provided within the school. So it has to have an academic component to it. I remember, going on field trips to Magic Mountain, and it had to have a mathematical component. They had to fill out a paperwork of, what it is, what the rides, the speed, and the distance, and there were all these little things that they had to figure out on that. So very light, but enough to say this was an academic support, an academic enrichment opportunity. There are programs where they're trying to find funding, for various enrichment opportunities, all within educational, and we all know that you can find an educational component rationalization for many, many programs. Even going camping.
Even going to Disneyland. Yeah.
What's that?
I mean, some people would argue that there's educational value in going to Disneyland.
Yes,
especially for the parents, paying for the parents to go.
Oh, okay. So from that end, so I just wanted to make some comparisons on that point. So I'm not going to touch the authorizers because I think we've already spoken to that point. Let's see. We've talked about the statewide structure supporting charter authorizing. I believe Senator Cortese has already touched up on that point, right? So I'm not gonna go there. Okay, so here's another one that I don't think we have actually touched on. So the bill places severe restrictions on the ability of any school district with less than 10,000 students from authorizing new charter public schools. I think restricting the development of high-quality schools is not good policy, period. And I think that goes against the very core of why charter schools began, as stated by Dr. Choi. But I have a couple of questions about this provision. I know that the LAO and FCMAT report recommended that limits on district authorizing be set based on district size and grade. Again, a policy that I don't agree with necessarily. Well, I know that the authorizer for A3 was small. The authorizer for Highland charter school was above 10,000 students. So it does not appear to me, based on these two cases, that the size of the district is actually the data point we should be using for any restrictions. I have two questions. One, has there been any considerations, because we're not going to negotiate here, so I'm going to rephrase this. Has there been any considerations or conversations with regarding to addressing this particular section of the bill, and potentially introducing it perhaps, or addressing it later when it has had more opportunity to be, or when they have a comprehensive study conducted on what makes a good authorizer and tie any restrictions to that particular component?
We are having ongoing negotiations about how do we get the job done? The bottom line is, as Senator Cortese was saying earlier, we want to make sure that the authorizers have the resources and the capacity to be able to do their job, which is to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent on public education in this case. So whether it's addressing, the intent, to say that, districts can't be authorizing charter schools that are bigger than the districts themselves. The basic idea behind that is, ensuring that they have the capacity to do their job. So whether it's, having size limits, or whether, we're having conversations about whether there should be a statewide, authorizer for non-classroom based charters, for the oversight of the non-classroom based charters. We're exploring all options, but the spirit of the negotiations is how do we get the job done? How do we should have bipartisan support to make sure that the authorizers that are charged with overseeing the charter schools have the resources and the capacity to do their job.
Oh, I don't disagree on that point at all. Okay, so the other question I have for you is, what is the data or evidence that was used to set the restrictive provisions at less than 10,000 students? I ask because I have school districts smaller than that in my district, and I believe do an excellent job in authorizing and oversight.
I would turn to Mr. Fine or Ms. Mancini.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that in our conversations with many small district authorizers, they came to us and said, hey, we think we're doing a good job, which is why amendments were added to the bill in the assembly that said that if you have certain number of staff, I think it's 4 staff members who have experience in business services, special education and the like, basically, if you can prove you have the staff capacity to do this work, that you can continue to authorize your large non-classroom based charter schools. So I think that's what we want to move to in negotiations, a way of figuring out which authorizers have the capacity, have proven that they can do this work and do this work well. But that's certainly, I think, the direction we're going, and the 10,000 number, I think, was based on the LAO FICMAT report and we thought it was a good judge at first, kind of that establishing that 100% threshold. If you, for example, are a school district of 7,000, then you could authorize up to 100% of your ADA at 7,000. But as you said, Highlands proved to us that this problem is pervasive across authorizers of all sizes, and we want to make sure we tackle that and are responsive to that issue.
And Senator, I would add that fundamentally, a school district's capacity, especially in its business office, looks very different at around 5,000 ADA, moving from almost one person that wears multiple hats in the business office to multiple people. Organizationally, it starts to look different at roughly 5,000. In fact, we offer a professional development program for LEAs at 5,000 and below just because of that, because one person wears lots of hats versus multiple people. But at the same time, we believe that 5,000 benchmark was likely too low here, and so that's in part where the 10,000 comes from. It really all gets back to capacity, and if there's a proxy for capacity other than ADA, and amendments in the assembly, as just indicated, began to address that. The assembly members indicated, we've looked at other state models. Many other states, especially when it comes to non-classroom base, there's one authorizer and one oversight agency in the whole state. California, as you know, was on the leading edge of the Charter Schools Act when it was passed many decades ago. Other states followed and thus learned some lessons and may even have some better practices in place. So all of that is part of this. The other piece, and I think this gets back to capacity, that the bill begins to address is support for authorizers. And we're interchanging terms, authorizers and oversight, right? If you're an authorizer, you are tasked with oversight, right? Just so there's no clarity that they're different, they're meant to be different. The legislature's been very clear. Oversight comes as an obligation of authorizing a petition, a charter petition. So there's a variety of pieces in the bill that I think try to get to that without setting a firm limit purely based on ADA.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Okay, so the other thing is another area that I'm always concerned here in the legislature is that we're always expanding and growing different departments and agencies because they're not currently doing the job well. And we think that, let's start this new organization, and it just keeps expanding. And what I've seen is that as it gets bigger, there's less accountability in the sense that you kind of shuffle the responsibility to one or another person, and then it just keeps going, and then it gets lost. And so my concern with the particular bill, with AB 84, is also the establishment of the two new bureaucracies, what we deemed as bureaucracy, particularly in the context of the very difficult budget decisions that we've had this year. And let me start with the Office of Inspector General. That would be housed in the California Department of Education. One comparison for this new office is probably the Office of Inspector General we currently have in place for the Department of Corrections. That budget is approximately $42 million, which I think roughly based on the data that we have, has about 200 staff. Do you expect that this new Office of Inspector General at the Department of Education would be the same or even larger given the size of the TK-12 education budget and the number of school districts and charter schools that would be under its purview?
Thank you, Senator. Given that this is the policy committee and not the fiscal committee, I did not.
I apologize.
I'm looking at the Assembly Appropriations Committee analysis, and I don't see. I don't know if Mr. Fine. Okay.
You can get that to me at a later
Okay.
time. I know I caught you off guard if you're not prepared. Which I can make my final comments soon, and we can address that. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
No.
So let me go on with my part D. While you're looking, I'm not sure if you'll be able to process both.
Oh, here.
Oh, here. Okay.
The Assembly Appropriations Committee estimates ongoing general fund costs of an unknown but potentially significant amount, likely in the low millions of dollars to low tens of millions of dollars, to establish and staff the Office of Inspector General under the supervision of the State Board of Education.
That's interesting. In comparison to the Department of Public Safety, considering the fact that it is smaller than our number of educators. So I wonder if that is accurate based on what we currently have already in practice. So I would take a second look on that and just take a little closer look on whether or not that would be an accurate amount. And then the second part of this question is, I'm trying to understand the need for the establishment of the new organization in the context of all the existing organizations that currently provide assistance to charter school authorizers. I'm thinking of the National Association of Charter School Authorizers and the California Charter Authorizing Professionals, to name but two of such organizations. Secondly, can you provide more details on the creation of the new statewide organization to assist authorizers? What would be the size and the budget of the new authorizer assistance organization? Have you folks, and you're probably not prepared for that one either.
Actually, but I believe Mr. Fine may be prepared to answer.
Okay, perfect.
Senator, this actually comes from, and your staff report speaks to this, from a very successful federal grant that, and I'm sorry, I'm going to lose a little bit of timeline here, but that was hosted in the Alameda County Office of Ed, called the CARS Net, California Authorizers Resource Network. And I believe it ended 6 or 7 years ago. The federal grant ran out. And what you see in the bill actually was a request of FCMAT to make a proposal to keep it going almost 7 years ago. And you see that almost word for word in AB 84, the proposal we wrote back then. We don't have any, I'm perfectly fine without any additional duties, but we're also happy to host that effort. It is envisioned to be 2.5 people, one of which is clerical, because that network is just that. It is a network of authorizers that come together and talk about best practices. And so it's the workload is divided out among them. So it's really a coordinating role. if we follow the CARSNet example, which was what our intent was, it's really a coordinating role and a sponsor of an annual conference type of thing where everybody can come together and now learn about the work that's been done. You are right. It builds in partnership with some of those other organizations. I caution us about the national organization because it is national, not California specific, right? But the California Authorizers professional group does a great job. They were part of this effort to start with, CARSNet. FCMAT was part of it. A number of agencies were part of it. And so that's really what it's a coordinating effort of bringing all those parties together and building best practices and then publishing those best practices as resources for authorizers. That's what was envisioned. It needed some structure, and so that's why we offered to kind of put it under us, but it is also important for us to have a little bit of separation in the rest of the work we do, because we are tasked with fraud reviews on occasion, and we want to make sure we're not overlapping in responsibilities and that there's a bit of a firewall. That's why we created a little bit of the bureaucracy of a separate board than what statute already provides for FCMAT's board itself. Just to have a little bit of separation there. But key is it's a coordinating role of, for lack of a better term, of members, although we didn't envision it as a membership organization.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for that. Gives it a little more context as to what was going on, what was the thought process or the context. There were, now I'm going to go on and just express some thoughts and some comments in the overall. I won't be supporting the bill today, and I've shared that with you prior to the committee hearing, just because I do have a lot of concerns. You know, it's interesting when you, as I mentioned earlier, when you see so many, you know, when you see amendments coming in, and everybody's working through, and I know our consultants here have been working extremely hard to, you know, carry this across. I'm sure you won't have a problem getting it across today through committee, but I do want to express some concerns because when we see amendments coming through and people are working towards these bills, normally you see people either coming off or becoming neutral. I'm very concerned about, you know, the fact that there's a lot of concern on from various fronts, including many folks that came to our office and expressed concerns with the bill, and expressed that many of them had not had an opportunity to actually talk about the concerns that they've had. And so, and I know you're shaking your head, you don't believe that's the case, but these are folks that have been here at previous bill hearings, and they're expressing the concerns. I have no reason not to believe or take their word for it, but they feel that they haven't been heard yet and haven't had an opportunity. Not to say that that's not going to happen in the negotiation moving forward, but it is my job and my duty to express the concerns that were expressed from folks that visited our office, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm expressing their concerns. And so when you see amendments coming in, and of course not neutralizing or adding support, it's kind of baffling. It's a little bit of, you know, it's discerning a little bit on that end. And being that there's a lot of issues that are still very, very much open, in any other bill, you know, you would see authors being asked to make this a 2-year bill to continue that work in those conversations. Right? Many, especially when it's this big and there's so much opposition to it. And it was interesting to note that even in the end of our notes here, we said, you know, we have a comment here that says these committee amendments are not intended to reflect a final agreement between all parties, and several provisions remained the subject of disagreement. However, they represent a meaningful step toward in the negotiation process and are being requested by the committee as a demonstration of good faith and continued progress. And that's what we see that is going on with the committee hearing, with these amendments and this committee hearing. But it is the last hearing, the last education hearing that we're having this year. And by now, you know, we're, you know, unless there's a special, you know,
They'll speak too soon about last hearing.
What's that?
Yeah, you might have some more. But.
Yeah, we might have some more. We might have, but technically this is our last one. And so being that it is our last, and there's still so many loose ends and open-ended concerns still working on it, you'd think that you would see this as a 2-year bill. And so that's why I'm not going to support the bill today. And based on a lot of concerns that many of our constituents have had, I cannot tell you how many calls we received and concerns on how it's going to impact their ability to address their education of their children. And I think that's incredibly concerning. But having said that, final comments I just want to make in reference to some of the statements that were made here today. And that was whether or not, how these funds are being used with regards to extracurricular, or how they're being used and what type of education these students are having or providing, or these parents are providing for their students. And I'm not sure that many folks know this, but there was an article. Ooh, I just lost it. Give me 1 second. And I thought it was interesting because I'm going to bring it up because the question of, if they're giving religious education of some sort to these kids, and using tax dollars. But I want to just really quickly highlight a legal finding that came out in, I believe it was May. And this is what came out. It says, California will now allow public funds to pay for students with learning disabilities to attend religious private schools, marking a major shift in longstanding state policy. The change follows a court settlement reached May 19th between state officials and a group of Orthodox Jewish parents who had challenged the state's exclusion of religious schools from its funding program. Since 1993, California law has permitted the use of public funds to cover the cost of private school education for students with disabilities, but not at non-sectarian institutions. The requirement was declared unconstitutional by a federal judge after the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in October that the law appeared to violate the First Amendment guarantee of religious freedom. Why I bring this finding out is because as we're having you're having continuous conversations with regard to this bill as to what is being covered and not covered, and challenges are being made with regards to the type of education that these kids are having through charter schools, through homeschool programs. I think it's something to be felt, because I think this is going to go further. And so as we're making, what's appropriate, what, we can't use these tax-funded dollars for certain types of education, especially if they have a religious undertone into it. I want to caution, because I think it's going to be challenged. And based on these findings, I think that we're going to see a change in the way that educational funding is being awarded to education in general in California. And so I wanted to bring that up. The other comment that I wanted to bring up and highlight was the abuses that are happening in charter schools, and whether or not they're legitimate or not. And I just want to point out that in California, we've allocated about $130 billion in educational funding for public schools. This year, probably a little less than that. Let's see, in 2025-26, $114.6 billion, Prop 98, K through 12 is some. As we're looking when we're talking about the fraud that's going on and so forth, there are many, many Californians, when you talk about whether or not they would approve accountability and transparency, I would say absolutely every Californian, the majority of California, would be, if not 100%, all 100% into accountability and transparency. But when we're talking about educational funding, in this case, you're addressing public school or charter schools, and the examples are coming out. I want to highlight that public schools right now in California have about for English language arts have about a 40% reading and writing at grade level. In math and science, we're at 30%, 30.7% going up. And we're talking about literally $130 billion in our educational system that's going on. So I'm not sure that the majority of Californians would agree that that is absolutely accountable, transparent, and acceptable. And so charter schools may have some nefarious actors, which thank goodness they've been, found out and are being addressed through the courts and being penalized. But I want to make sure that, we put into context into why these schools are important and in our state. Because when you look at those and you're looking at the amount of money that we're spending and the output, the outcome that we have in our students, it's unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable. And when we're looking at these parents who are desperate and want something completely different, few bad apples shouldn't compromise their ability to have choice. And not just choice, but actually have proven that they can have a better educational outcome. And whether or not it means that a parent facilitates that education, even though they don't have a degree, how many folks and how much do we advocate for schools and to accept, other life experiences, to say, hey, you've had these life experiences, we're going to allow you to have this credential, this certificate. How many folks do we encourage to go through YouTube and learn, how to do X, Y, and Z? So just because parents don't necessarily have a credential doesn't mean that they can't facilitate education. And sometimes, based on the ones that I personally have encountered and met, are doing a beautiful and wonderful job, including family members and my future son-in-law, who is homeschooled. So I just want to make that very, very clear that as we're going forward and we talk about the accountability for charter schools and homeschool programs, many of these folks are just looking for an alternative. And let's look at our public school system and our scores on that end. That is also unacceptable in the state of California. So having said that, I will respectfully be voting no, and I share that with you, but I look forward to continuous conversations, and I look forward to continue to work in this committee on behalf of all of our students.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Chopo. Please no clapping. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the hand waves. I will turn it over now to Senator Cabalden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm just to set expectations, I'm going to make everybody angry about this bill, but that's kind of the nature of this topic. Every charter school bill turns out this way, in part because they're all kind of existential. And I know this both from my own experience here and on the campaign trail. I know there are folks who believe charter schools should not exist at all. And many of them are supporters of this bill. I know there are others that think that we should have unfettered charters to do anything, anytime, anywhere, and I know they're among the opponents of the bill. But in both cases, I hope they are smaller. But I'm not going to go into lots and lots of detailed provisions because a lot of the questions that I had have already been asked by other members of the committee, but also because this is a negotiation that is happening, and I concur with the chair's admonition about the SB 414, but it is also the case that we're highly unlikely to use the joint rule provision that expects that in these kind of situations we would have a conference committee. So this is the best that we get. And when we advanced SB 414, we did very little debate here in order to be ready for this moment. So they are being negotiated together. They will need to be a package in my view if it's going to move forward. That said, I think first I wanted to just sort of emphasize the importance of some humility about this issue. The chair will get mad at me because I bring this up all the time, but 35% of I was going to say students, but applicants to the community colleges are not real people. We are not like perfect in state governments either when it comes to massive fraud and financial exposure. And I'm old enough to remember when FCMAT didn't exist, and I represent a city that just this month is coming out of its final bankruptcy payments because the Vallejo Unified School District made a lot of very bad financial decisions. And so when I say that because I know the debate has kind of been caricatured around Disneyland and whatever, and it's like, oh, did you know that they are paying for somebody to go to Disneyland? And I'm like, yeah, but did you know that my school district entered into permanent long-term contracts that they could never possibly afford, and have cost students an annual, thousands of dollars per student ever since? Like, which one's worse? Like, cool story, bro, but which one's worse? And so some sense of like, we have FCMAT because it turns out school districts are not perfect. And they're not necessarily any better than the average charter school or charter school authorizer, so FCMAT was created. So this notion that if we just need maybe a little bit more professional development, maybe another auditing standard, that we're going to solve all of this because school districts will take this, and I think that's not real. So that's why the details are so important. That's why I know why the author has spent so much time on that. But the other thing I want to say, the local government committee is about to shut down. The Constitution says for charter cities that the legislature is not supposed to legislate charter cities, except when there's like a compelling overriding statewide interest. When I go back there, it'll be like every other hearing that we've had this year. Every single bill that applies to cities has a language in it that says this also applies to charter cities because it's just so darn important. That law was intended to say, look, city of South Pasadena, it's not cool. You cannot legalize, violent crime on your streets. You can't, we're going to have fundamental open meeting laws, like the fundamentals. But the Constitution says that the charters are supposed to be respected, that they are independent for a reason. But we have become, in the legislature, so cavalier about it that we just override charters on every single thing. And I worry about that here because I've heard in this debate almost every other line is, well, if somebody's receiving public funds, they should do the same exact thing. They should align with what school districts do. They should do the same laws as school districts, which is, of course, the exact opposite of what the charter school law is for. The charter school law is exactly the opposite of that. It is, except just like charter cities in the Constitution, the law is innovate, experiment, be accountable, but you're specifically not supposed to be subject to every single law. And that's a design. That's not a flaw. That's a feature of the system. And so the question then is, how do we assure the appropriate accountability, not replace accountability and oversight and outcomes measures with, the best way to do it is you should have the same exact accounting software and you should have the same color scheme. Like that's exactly what the charter thing is not supposed to be about. So so when I hear it, it's a triggering thing for me that if there's a public dollar, then it should apply to the same laws because that's not the point. And so when we have bills, this is I think the thickest bill I've had to vote on yet in the Senate. Like these orientations, the framing ideology that enters does matter. And so, like, for folks that want to erase charter schools from the map, or folks that think charters should comply with every single state law that applies to regular school districts, it requires me to look a lot more closer. Okay, if that's your intention walking in, I want to show me the receipts on how each of these provisions really does make sense. And so that's why the value of these two bills, I think, is so important to bring both, everybody to the table in order to try to resolve them. But for me, that's the test here. I want to be sure that there's no backdoor that's going to harm the charter school concept fundamentally, but that also achieves the purposes that are here. For 5 minutes, I had a bill on this topic too. And so getting the accounting stuff right and the oversight right, I think, is absolutely important. Also making sure that what we're talking about in the charter school world is what the Charter School Act is about, which is principally around rigorous models of instruction that lead to improvements in student outcomes. The charter school statute is not about everybody should just do whatever they want, freedom for everyone. It's not a libertarian statute. It is around, can somebody on a proven basis show that they are achieving better student outcomes and closing the achievement gap. If they can, then by all means go forth and do good. So I also want to be sure as we move forward, not on this bill and others, that we are focusing on that as opposed to charters as sort of just let 1,000 flowers bloom. Everybody should do whatever they want to. So that part to me is important. The specific I want to focus though is on authorizing, because I do think this is a critical part of it. And sort of his comments about what other states do, I think is incredibly instructive here. So, the debate here is always, local school districts are the closest thing to godliness. So we should make sure every chartering authorizing decision, we just got to make sure that local school district is the one in charge of it. They know what they're doing. Nobody knows their community better than they do. And I agree with that. I'm from local government. But then when it comes time to say, now they have to authorize them, they're like, oh my God, they don't know what they're doing. They're too close to the community. They don't get it. They're incapable. This is a design flaw in the system that we have created. And so I do believe personally that we should be moving towards a authorizing system that on both the authorizing and then the 99% of the rest of it, which is the follow-up and the oversight and everything else, that there ought to be a mechanism other than only the local school districts or the county. I recognize the state board's issues before created a lot of problems for folks as well, but we need a strong authorizing system in California, and what we've jerry-rigged in the state is almost intended to be ineffective, but also incredibly expensive. We could pay for the inspector general in this bill if we got rid of everybody if we got rid of this fantasy that we're going to take the Rio Vista schools in my district, population a couple thousand, and we're just going to give them so much PD and support, and they're going to go to a FICMAT workshop and whatever, and then they'll be great authorizers. No, they won't. They authorize like one charter a generation. Nobody remembers the last one. They don't learn anything to do it the next time. This is the kind of a fundamental rule of oversight, is that you have to be doing oversight constantly. You have to learn from your mistakes and from your wins. If you only authorize occasionally, no matter how much training you have, how many guardrails, you don't get better at it. And so my own view is that I appreciate the window that you're opening here on statewide authorizing, but I don't think the answer is a statewide support system for authorizing at the local level. We need to be moving towards a system that takes authorizing and in all of its dimensions, both approval to operate and then the oversight of the authorized schools into consideration. So that I hope that you'll all keep working on that system, but recognize that we'll be much more effective and much more efficient and much more able to catch either mistakes or bad behavior if we have a more centralized approach to authorizing that permits for innovation, but and local control, but also recognizes that the parts after the authorizing decision are neither mainly about local control or innovation. At that stage, they're about don't break the law, make sure you're spending your money properly. That does not need to be spread among thousands and thousands and thousands of authorizers. So I hope we're able to get there to get into that space as well. So I want to just thank the chair, the committee staff, certainly the author, and the organizations on all sides to try to resolve this. I'm very hopeful. I was very hopeful this year we'd have no charter bills at all. Then I broke that and introduced one. I'm very hopeful that we'll get to a solution on this so that we don't have another issue like this again. Yes, it's messy, it's hard, it's painful. There's blood on the floor from all of this. That's true for every charter bill ever. So I get it. Everybody's doing their very darndest, and I'm hopeful that we'll get it across the line. I will look forward to paying attention to the details as they continue to be negotiated. And if this committee needs to reconvene or other means in order to assure that the package that we end up with between the two bills reflects these varying values and concerns and issues and opportunities to make sure that we are providing a meaningful, high quality, big impact, good outcome opportunities for families and students from throughout the state, and simultaneously make sure that we are fully protecting the public dollars, public interest, and fiscal fiduciary responsibility. I think we can do it, and we have the A team of Senator Ashby and Assemblymember Matsuchi on this. So I look forward to the work. Today, I won't be voting on a yes or no on the bill, just because I have a lot of concerns about it. But I also know that there's a lot of progress being made on the negotiation, hoping that we'll get a conclusion. Madam Chair, thank you for your work on this as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. I know there's been a whole lot of discussion already, and I think a majority of my questions and concerns that I was going to raise have been raised already. So I just want to go ahead and take an opportunity, I think, one, to share a little bit, about my support for AB 84, why I'm recommending an aye vote, and also understanding and underscoring that this is very much an active negotiation process. We've met several times to discuss your bill. Assemblymember Marsucci, I've met with several of the members of the opposition that are in this room, as well as the supporters. And I know that you've been very committed to continue to negotiate in good faith. I recognize that there is other legislation in this space, SB 414. As I've shared with you, and I've also shared with Senator Ashby, it is my preference that there's a bringing together of both bills and an agreement that's met. I'm hoping that we'll enter that point at some point during this cycle, but we'll continue to be a part of that conversation, especially given my role in this process. So it's very important to me that a good policy comes out of this process. I want to make clear this bill is not about punishing charter schools or eliminating parent choice. It's about common sense accountability and rebuilding public trust following the largest fraud scandal in California's public education history. AB 84 implements thoughtful oversight reforms drawn from two independent, nonpartisan reports, something I want to highlight, and who I really want to give credit to here is Mr. Mike Fine, who's here with us today. There's been a lot of conversation on both sides, whether we've heard from the opposition or the support. I think one thing that's been made very clear is that we need more oversight and accountability in this space. I also want to make clear, and I've shared this with several of the charter schools that I've met with, that it hurts charter schools to continue to allow for this mismanagement to happen. It harms the credibility of good charter schools that are doing good work for students. And whether those are charter schools that are brick and mortar and then the classroom, whether they're online, there are great things that are happening. And addressing this problem is so critical, not just for overall the misuse of tax dollars, but really ensuring that we're able to deliver and highlight the good work that's happening. It's being tarnished by these bad actors. And so we need to do something about this. So we've had this report that was commissioned in response to the A3 charter fraud case, a $400 million criminal scheme involving fake students, payments to youth sports leagues for enrollment, and a complete breakdown in authorizer oversight. The case revealed how easy it is to exploit our current system, especially when authorizers are unprepared or under-resourced. The reforms in this bill are grounded in recommendations from the Legislative Analyst Office, the State Controller's Office, and the Fiscal Crisis Management Assistant team. And I want to highlight that because I think one of the things that concerns me, and this area of fiscal oversight and management and transparency laws are very important to me. I used to serve in local government. I passed one of the strongest campaign finance laws in the entire state. We don't even allow political donations from unions in the city of Alhambra. And so it is a very, very stringent law. And that was part of the reason was we did all of this work before I even got elected to office around transparency. Now, when you have a group that has committed fiscal mismanagement, the appropriate way to go about that is to find, ideally, a nonpartisan, independent group to come up with recommendations to that. Not the folks that want to see the other group be eliminated, not the group trying to regulate itself, but to actually have an independent agency come up with recommendations. And that's what you had here with FCMAT and with Mike Fine in generating this report, which I think is really critical. And I want to highlight that. And as we continue to have these conversations, whether it's been on AB 84, whether it's been on SB 414, I've made very clear to both authors that it's my priority that the report that came out, the independent, nonpartisan analysis is what needs to be centered. And I've made that very clear to both folks. These are politically neutral public agencies. Again, FCMAT in particular is not the Grim Reaper of charter schools. It regularly provides support to help charter schools in financial distress to stay open and improve. So this really, they are the experts in this space, not just for public schools, but for charter schools. The bill requires better data reporting, strengthens financial audits, and makes sure school districts have the capacity to oversee the schools that they authorize. It also protects public dollars by closing loopholes in the funding determination process for non-classroom-based charter schools. These are practical steps, not radical changes. And I want to highlight, because I know it's been mentioned before, both bills and the laws that they are proposing, as well as the report that Mike Fine produced, are making recommendations not just for charter schools. This bill would apply to all LEAs, so it would be both public and charter schools. No school in the state of California should be committing this kind of fiscal mismanagement, misuse of funds. And so there needs to be accountability across the board, and that was something that was also very important to me. We should not be treating one different than the other. So I want to also make that very clear, because I know that was brought up and raised. The author has already taken significant amendments to address concerns. We're continuing to work on those amendments, including removing or revising several controversial provisions. The committee is adopting additional amendments today, and discussions will continue over the summer on many other components of this bill, and the author has already committed to that. One of the provisions generating concern relates to how public funds are used for enrichment activities in NCB programs. Some families feel this could disrupt their model, but the intent here is not to prohibit vendor-based instruction. It's to ensure public dollars are used responsibly and under the guidance of credentialed educators. This reflects a real tension. On one hand, families value flexibility and personalized learning, something that's important when we want to preserve. On the other, we must avoid turning instructional funds into publicly financed extracurricular accounts with limited oversight. So there's a balance that we're trying to meet here. Both concerns are valid, and further discussion is warranted. We know that this is a major piece that we're still working through with the author. I support AB 84 not because I oppose charter schools. I've supported many over the years and have worked with many of them over the years. Some of you are familiar with my work that we've done before my time here being elected to this office, but because I believe in the integrity of our public education system, and that is what is currently at stake. We owe it to families, taxpayers, and students, especially those served by NCB programs, to ensure that every public dollar is spent transparently and with accountability. So with that, Assemblymember Marsucci, I'll just say again, and if you could just say for the record, I just want to ensure that you continue to work. I know there's been so many parents and families that have shown up today, and I really want to thank them for taking the time to be here. I know you recognize how important this bill is to them, and will you continue to commit to working with these families over the summer as you continue to engage in negotiations, both with Senator Ashby as well as with many of the parents and other charter schools that have questions and concerns?
Absolutely. I mean, we have worked in good faith to try to meet with as many people, not just the organizations represented in Sacramento, but I know that I've personally had conversations with many homeschool parents individually and directly. But clearly we can't, we haven't been able to meet with each and every homeschool family that has concerns about AB 84, but we will continue this process. We are ready, as I've mentioned before, meeting twice a week with all stakeholders, including Senator Ashby's office, including the Charter School Association. and those discussions and negotiations will continue.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to say again before I close out, again, it is really my priority to make sure that we have a solid bill in this space. I would ideally like to see one bill come out of this process. And I think it's important. It's critical for everybody, not just taxpayers, but I think for charter schools themselves. It is not okay for us to allow this to happen. It tarnishes the reputation of really great schools that are doing amazing things, including in my own district. Mike Fine's done an incredible job with the recommendations he's made in this report. And I have to tell you, it's very concerning to me when I hear comments made about cherry picking parts of this report. I do not think that this is a case where we should be cherry picking what we do and don't want to do in terms of fiscal oversight and management. These are hard discussions, and I recognize that. I recognize there's also folks in this room that have raised concerns about the cost of oversight and accountability, but we also need to think about what is the cost if we continue to do nothing. And if we continue to do nothing, the cost, in my opinion, is far worse. So I will turn it over to you, Assembly Member, to go ahead and close. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know that this has been a very long and robust a conversation on one bill. I'm trying to remember if I've spent this much time on a single bill. That's right. Hopefully we won't be breaking the record this afternoon when we hear Senator Aspie's bill. But want to thank each and every one of you for your very thoughtful comments, questions on the bill. I also want to thank each and every family, everyone that came out today. Whether you're for or against the bill, please be assured, as I've committed, that we are negotiating in good faith to achieve the ultimate objective of this effort, which is to crack down on bad actors without hurting the good actors. And so with that, I respectfully ask for a aye vote.
Alrighty. So we will now, do we need a motion? So we have a motion by Senator Cortese, and the motion for AB 84 is do pass as amended to the Senate Appropriations Committee. Assistant, can you call the roll?
Senators Perez.
Aye.
Perez, aye. Ochoa-Bogue. No. Ochoa-Bogue, no. Cabaldon. Choi. Cortese. Aye. Cortese, aye. Gonzalez. Laird. Aye. Laird, aye.
Thank you, and we will put that bill on call.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go into recess, right? So we're going to go into a short recess.